It's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I. Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to RFDL Playoffs. I'm Ecliptic Fades, and I'm joined here by a bit of a special guest. Today, it's going to be Nova Fox joining us for this first game. Nova, how are we doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah, you ready to play in playoffs? Try to make top 3 today?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I bet that's a very exciting... I bet that's a very exciting prospect for you. And you get to start off the day by casting to find out which team it is going to be that you're going to be playing immediately after this match. It's going to be a very exciting day of Rocket League action. For everybody, we've got a few games that we're going to be going through today. As you can see by the title of the stream, this is going to be the A stream. We have 2 streams going on today. The B stream has not started yet. It is going to be hosted by Attacking Toads, and that's going to be going live in just about an hour. So probably around the time that we are done with this first match here, the B stream will be going live. So you'll want to make sure to check that out. I believe his Twitch name is also Attacking Toads. So it'll be twitch.tv/Attacking Toads for that one. But let's take a look at the bracket that we've got going for you guys this weekend. It's the final weekend of RFDL. It's playoffs time. We've got some interesting matches going on. We've got a 6-team double elimination bracket. All these guys played in a 5-round Swiss to get their positions, and we can see Dignipause and Gentlepause were the winners of that Swiss stage, getting those buys in the first round. We are going to be looking at the top of this playoff bracket today. We're going to be taking game 1, Big Dragon Squad versus Black Bunny Gaming. And then after that, we'll be going straight to game 3, which is going to be Dignipause versus whoever wins that game 1. And then after that, we will be going on to game 5 in the lower bracket. Our first elimination game, it's going to be the loser of Lumimosity and Fox Clan and the loser of Dignipause and whoever wins this first match. So we've got 3 exciting best of 5s for you today. By the end of the day, at the end of both streams, we are going to have our top 4 teams going into Sundays to be playing those best of 7s. Nova, I gotta ask, from a player's perspective, what are you feeling? You feeling a little nervous? Are you feeling excited? What's the general vibe for today?
I'd say general vibe is excitement. A little nervous, but I mean, I got 2 teammates that can do so much for me, so I just kind of have to just remember to, where to be.
Yeah, I think that that's going to go great. I think that we've got some really strong teams here. I think any team could win today. I think any team could win the tournament in general if things go right for them. I will say I personally give an edge to Dignipause. I think your roster is extremely high skill ceiling, and you've been fitting in well with your teammates in Sylvie and Infernal. And I think that you guys could definitely make a run. I would not be surprised to see you guys in the upper finals after today ends. But we do have a match to get to before we talk any more about Dignipause. And it is going to be our first match of the day, and it is a huge one. Two of the top 4 teams in League Play going against each other in Big Dragon Squad and Black Bunny Gaming. What do you think about this matchup that's coming up?
I mean, they were like 2 of the top teams from like the regular season, I believe. I'm not wrong on that. I mean, we've played BDS a couple times. They've given us some problems, but I haven't played Black Bunny yet, so I don't really know how to feel about them entirely. I've seen some games, but
yeah, I understand. They are a bit of a weird team to be going against for sure. But we'll have to see how they play today. It's been a little bit since they've played in that round 5. It's been a week. I don't know if they've practiced at all. But they are going to have a tough match ahead of them. Not one that they were expecting going into playoffs, I'm sure. But as you guys know, Black Bunny Gaming, it is going to be that combo of Hammer, Bezix, and Kiki. They will be coming in to represent Black Bunny Gaming today. Meanwhile, we are going to have a sub on the side of BDS. It's going to be Reverb, Rue the Fuzzy, and I believe it's going to be Zixi, who played for them in the mid-season tournament, and he showed that he was a pretty good player in his own right. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to show up against Black Bunny Gaming today.
yeah. I mean, I remember playing, I think we played Big Dragon Squad like twice during either twice or once during the mid-season tournament, and Zixi was like definitely a force to be reckoned with during that. So we'll see what he can do here in the 3v3 in the best of 5 against I'd say one of the better teams, but it was a tough road for them to get here, I believe. So
yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that just a little bit, because Black Bunny Gaming did not necessarily have the Swiss that they were hoping for going into this. They did get a Game 5 against Virgin Rebellion in Round 1, but then they got reverse swept twice against Lumosity and Gentle Paws in the following rounds. One of those due to a very unfortunate disconnect from Kiki in Game 5. We're kind of hoping that that doesn't plague them today. But definitely not the run that you're wanting if you're Black Bunny Gaming. Definitely, I think they could have taken one of those 2 top spots, but they just didn't get what they were hoping for. Of course, they did come back later on, reverse sweeping Fox Clan in round 4, and then beating out Awapta Gaming in round 5. So I think that they can be happy that they're in playoffs, but I definitely think that they wanted a better seed for themselves.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, the unfortunate disconnect in what I think it was round 2 of Swiss. Probably feel like that one got away from them because they probably felt like they could have taken that game, and then it carries over to the next week, and then at that point you're just fighting for your life. So we'll see what they can do here against, I'd say, one of the better teams, and it should be a good matchup.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for the players to come in, we'll talk a little bit about how BDS, one of the top 4, also ended up in this situation. And it was a bit of a rough one for them, too. They had to forfeit their first match against Awapta Gaming in Swiss, sending them lower just to start. And then Protogen Rebellion really had, like, the series of their lives and beat them in 4, sending them all the way down to the 2-2. But even with that, with our weird format that we had to do for Swiss, they ended up having to play Fox Clan, who was a 2-0 team at the time, and ended up sweeping them And then they played against Cloud9, beat them in 4. And then they played against X3 Tactics, who actually had to forfeit that one. And they found themselves in playoffs as the 4th seed. Which is, actually, I think they might be the 4th seed. So that's actually a really good result for them. All things considered with how their their Swiss started.
Yeah, I mean, going down to 0-2 and then having to play a 2-0 team probably would deter some people away, but I mean, they handled it and then kind of just found their way up to the 4th seed, so sometimes luck's just in your favor, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, to a little bit of an extent. I will say, BDS against Fox Clan, they looked like a very scary team.
Yeah.
If they're able to bring that performance today, then I would be scared of what they can do later on in the bracket. But they are going to be playing without Meezer today. So we're going to have to see how Vixie kind of fills that role that Meezer usually does as the passer and the kind of finisher of some of those shots. We're going to have to see if they can replicate that, which is going to be tough. Who do you think has the advantage in this matchup?
I mean, I feel like on paper it should be Black Bunny Gaming, just given they have their full roster and how good that roster is. But it seems like sometimes they can just kind of get into their own heads and kind of mess each other up, which I think would play into Big Dragon Squad's advantage. So if you had to ask me, I guess I'm going to give it to Black Bunny Gaming.
Okay, interesting. I think I have to agree with you there. I definitely think that it's going to be a little bit difficult for both these teams. However, Black Bunny Gaming has shown us that they know how to take high pressure situations and turn it into their own benefit. And I think they're going to be dealing with that a lot with this BDS squad. I will say, I think the skill ceiling on Big Dragon Squad is going to end up being a little bit higher when you consider all of the players. Obviously, you're going to be having a GC3 and a GC2 instead of having an SSL and then a GC1. So I think the skill ceiling might be a little bit more elevated, but it all depends on Hammer. I think if Hammer has a standout performance today, it should be easy work for Black Bunny Gaming to be able to at least take this first series. I don't know how they'll fare against Dignapause later on in the bracket, but we just have to wait and see. But we are just waiting a couple of minutes for these guys to get into this match. I think we're just waiting on a couple more people. So, I guess we're just gonna talk about... Let's talk about the other side of the bracket real quick, as that match hasn't happened yet, obviously, and we'll be seeing how that progresses. But let's talk Lumimosity Fox Clan for anybody looking forward to that match. Who do you think has the upper hand in that? I will let you know that Lumimosity will have their full roster, and Fox Clan is actually going to be having a sub.
Well, I can't remember how, like, I haven't seen Fox Clan play, and now knowing they don't have their full roster, I'm going to be just a little more confused. Because the last time I think we played them was, like, way in, like, week 5 or something, or 6. It was a while ago. And our roster was different. But Lumimosity, they did end up reverse sweeping Black Bunny Gaming and Swiss. And, you know, when we played them, they were pretty solid. So I would probably give advantage Lumimosity.
Yeah, that is fair. I think that Lumimosity does have a good chance to make a run today. Also, let's talk about Gentle Paws a little bit. That one team we really haven't discussed too much going into today. They are going to be running without Pictus for the weekend, who was kind of their main attack scorer. Now, I do know that they are bringing in a highly mechanical sub in Silver, I believe. So there's not as much of a difference, but I do think that it is going to shake up their gameplay a little bit. Do you think that they're going to be able to make a run in this tournament?
I think they can make a run in this tournament. I mean, I was kind of shocked when I looked at the bracket and I was like, wait, Gentle Pros is the 2 seed? Like, what happened? Because I didn't like watch any of those games and whatnot. But, you know, they fought hard, they got here, and I think they can continue that run.
Yeah, I think that they've got a good chance. I think that they have a bit of a tough matchup if they do end up facing either Lumamasi or FoxClan. That is going to be a great match to see. Of course, that is going to take place on the B stream today. So, once again, once that goes live, we will notify you guys, and you'll be able to watch that one as well as this one. If you want to get all of your RFDL action in, you can watch both streams at the same time. See exactly when teams are moving on. We are, I think, just waiting on one more person here. And once we have them, I think we'll be good to go. And then we'll be getting this game started as soon as possible. We don't want to keep teams waiting too long for their matches today, which is why we're doing 2 streams. That way, teams are not waiting 3+ hours to play games. But we are going to be getting this one going as soon as possible. I will say, players to look out for in this match, I'm going to be looking at Zixi on BDS, of course. As we said, we're going to want to watch and make sure that he has a performance kind of like he had in mid-season, where he was playing really well. He was working really well with his team. I think that he's kind of become the dedicated sub for BDS, so he kind of knows how they play at this point, which is going to give him an advantage. But on the other side, I'm really going to be looking at Vezix and Kiki to kind of just keep doing what they've been doing. Vezix, you know him as the demo chaser of the team, but he does so much more than that now. When he started off the season, he was mainly a demo chaser, but he's gotten so much better as the season's progressed. He turned into more of a cleanup crew and just a general confusion, like a chaos maker for the team. And Kiki has always been good at just being the cleanup for Hammer, getting some really good goals themselves. If they're able to play their style of game, I would give them the advantage, but I don't know how easy that's going to be. What do you think?
I mean, we all know how good, Hammer is and stuff, but like, it really kind of comes down to more than just one player on that team, and it really depends on how Kiki and Vezix themselves can kind of like find out where they need to be, like whenever Hammer goes up for something and maybe it doesn't go in, and just making sure that they're not like overcommitting and stuff like that. And as for Big Dragon Squad, like you said, Zixi has been like the dedicated sub, and in the mid-season, like really fit in well there. So it'll be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah, one big difference that this tournament has to mid-season, though, is that this is not crew battles. This is going to be 3v3 the entire way through. So it's going to be a bit of a shakeup. Usually, Zixi was playing in those 2v2s with either Ruth Fuzzy or Reverb, I believe. Now they're going to be playing in a 3v3 type of situation, where we didn't see a lot of that in mid-season. So one thing I am going to question, at least at the start, is how their 3v3 rotation is going to fare going into the match. I expect that it's not going to be that bad, though, as Zixi is a skilled player, and I'm sure that he knows his positioning pretty well. So I think that they're going to be a solid team today. We're just going to have to see how they perform. We are just waiting on Zixi, to be fair. They're the last person who will be joining the lobby, and I think they said that they're going to be in just a minute. And we'll be able to get going. I know that there's a lot of stalling going on right now, guys, as we wait for everybody to be here, but just be patient, and soon enough we will be going with the first match of the day. I mean, not much else to say right now. I guess I would like to ask, what your expectations are going into the tournament for yourself here, Nova.
I mean, for myself, I just kind of had to remind myself that I have 2 teammates that do so much, and I just need to make sure to be there to play basically cleanup crew, or just be there to finish the shot and just go where I'm needed and not overcommit and not ball chase too much to cost us some silly goals. So
Yeah, now, being on a team, I guess I don't really get the chance to ask this too much, but being on a team with Sylvie and Infernal, two very mechanical players, like, does that give you, like, a sense of confidence going into your matches, just knowing that your teammates are really, really good and can back you up whenever needed? Or, like, are you more worried about trying not to get in their way? Like, what's the mental that you need to take into matches in that sort of case?
it's more so just, just having the confidence that, like, if I'm leading a charge, I have 2 people behind me, or even if I mess up, somebody's gonna be able to clean it up. I mean, you see it all the time, like Sylvie, like, just kind of taking over a game, but sometimes I'll like miss the ball, be like, dang it, and then like next thing you know, Sylvie's like right behind me, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a little bit of confidence just knowing that even if I make a mistake, I have 2 teammates that aren't gonna make as many mistakes as me, if any.
That's fair. And I think I gotta say it's been a treat watching Sylvie this season, but it's also been kind of scary watching them because at the same time, as much as they pop off on the field, they do have their instances that they maybe take it a little too far with the freestyling. I'm sure that you have had plenty of experience dealing with that.
I mean, like that ceiling shot in, like, I think game 4 against Lumosity overtime, just, yeah, sure, why not, I guess. I mean, Sylvie just does what Sylvie wants, I guess. And I just get to sit there and watch it while playing on the field, so.
Well, that must be a joy to watch, that's for sure. And speaking of joy to watch, I think we are just about to get Zixi in here, which means we'll finally be able to get our first match of the day of playoffs started, which I'm very excited to do. I want to get playoffs going. I want to get these teams on the field, and I really want to see how they perform today. I think it's going to be very telling on who makes a run today. See it there. On a little bit. Are a little. We're a little stalled. But I will talk to the players and figure out but yeah, let's see. I think I'm gonna be going here just in a second. I am still just waiting for them to be in the game. I think they're having trouble getting Zixi online. Which to be expected sometimes. This is much earlier than we usually do our league play and such. So we will make sure that everybody has ample time to get on. But I mean, yeah, I think we've really said everything we can about the matches going forward. We are just waiting to get into the game. I don't know. I'm just excited to see some good Rocket League. You know what? I've got a question for you. How many we've seen Black Money Gaming win games by like a substantial margin. Do you think we see that in this series? Or do you think that it's going to be like super close games the entire time.
Knowing how this game is, I'm sure there's going to be one game where at least one of the teams, I don't know entirely if it'll be Black Bunny Gaming, but at least one of these teams will just win by like 4 goals, and then the rest of the games will be like 1 goal and like 3 overtimes. So just the nature of the game, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is true. That I feel like each of these teams usually just have a big pop off potential for both of them. Especially if Reverb is shooting like he usually does. Sometimes we see him with some accuracy problems, but if today that's not the case, I expect to see a lot of goals coming out from him. And Fire, you are not hearing that's too early in the morning. It's not morning, it's afternoon. So I don't think that's gonna work for us. I don't think that excuse is gonna work. But no, I expect to see Reverb pop off at least a couple of times. Do we see any highly mechanical plays from Hammer today? That's something I want to ask. Do you think we'll see any very high skill ceiling type plays? I'm talking like double flip resets or such.
I think he'll get the chance to do a few of those. I feel like the space will open up and he'll go for a few. But I don't know if he'll go for too many. Maybe he'll try to incorporate some more team plays, but you'll never know till you see, I guess. So we'll see what Hammer has to cook up this series.
Yeah, agreed there. And good news, Zixi is now in the party, so we are going to get started here soon. And just to remind everybody, as we get into this, this is going to be a best of 5. We do have an EU player and a West player, so this is going to take place on US East. And I think we're all ready, guys. So I think quickly give me a prediction. Who's winning, Black Bunny or Big Dragon Squad, and in how many games?
Black Bunny in 5.
All right, I'm saying Black Bunny in 4. So let's get going, guys. The first match of playoffs starts now. It's going to be Black Bunny Gaming versus BDS in a best of 5. Winner moves on to play Dignipaz. And we're actually already straight into the kickoff. These guys joined super quickly, so a couple of seconds have already passed, but that doesn't matter, guys, because we are now playing some Rocket League in the upper bracket round 1. And this is going to be a really interesting match. Want to see who's able to score first, and it might be Vezix going for the double tap off of that back wall, not able to get it, but it goes straight to Hammer. He looks for a shot, going to be a bit wide, and we're seeing Black Bunny offense to start us off today.
I mean, you're already seeing there, like, the change in play from Vezix. He's going up for more, like, mechanical plays instead of just going around the field hitting demos. But now, Big Dragon Squad has a breakout here. Not a great, a little bit of a misflip, I think, from Kiki, and Reverb capitalizes on it.
That's a really good way to start if you are BDS. You're going to want to get goals really quickly going into today, just starting off and making sure that you get the advantage as quick as possible. That is going to really make a difference. Now, we could see more pressure coming out from Black Bunny, but that's going to be a bit of an overcommit, and Zixi is going to have a shot at the net, but Kiki does have enough boost to get back up in time for it. Now another big boom downfield, and we're seeing Black Bunny push up a little bit too far on their own defensive half, catching them out and putting them in some very awkward spots, so they're going to need to fix that up pretty quickly. Pass over to Reverb, looks for another chance, and Vezix will be there for the save. But it's looking a little bit cleaner from Black Bunny here.
Yeah, Black Bunny just seemingly overcommitting a lot as last man. And now they're just kind of stuck on the back foot as a lot of demos come out back and forth between both teams. A little awkward there for Hammer, but Hammer handles it pretty well, clears it away. Reverb up. Gets nabbed by Kiki. Just seems a little on edge here as low boost and just constant pressure here from Big Dragon Squad is just leaving Black Bunny a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's kind of expected from Big Dragon Squad. They are a team that is known to do very well at making teams very uncomfortable on their own backline. We're gonna have to see if Black Bunny can deal with that. I don't think these teams have played each other, I think at all, really, during the season. Maybe once in league play, but I think at that point, I think they were totally different teams, so you can't really say that these teams have officially played each other, especially with Zixi coming in for Big Dragon Squad. But now Hammer.
Yeah, I mean...
Ooh. Sorry, I cut you off there. What's that?
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, yeah, I mean, that's like the nature of this draft league. The teams swap around so much. I mean, our team's changed like, what, 4 times? So just because you played somebody doesn't mean you played their entire roster, so...
Oh, chance for Black Bunny. Unfortunately, not able to get past the defense. Zixi dunking Hammer there. A lot of confidence on that challenge coming from them. Very impressive to see. A lot of players would be scared when they see an SSL creeping up on them, but they're taking it in stride. And what a touch from Zixi is going to allow for Reverb to take a shot, but Hammer just in time to get that save. 1:46 left, and Black Bunny still down by 1, but they should be able to find one here soon. As Reverb, a bit awkward on that ball. Kiki gonna hit it high. The waterfall down, but no one on Black Bunny able to commit. And that's gonna be another one to their own back wall.
Feels like Black Bunny has like attack after attack, but just can't seem to even find a shot on net. Meanwhile, Big Dragon Squad can just keep relentless pressure on them in the midfield and on, even in their own half, just taking control of the game. It feels like. Ooh,
what a save there!
Reverb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge save from Reverb. Like a really good shot on net, but an even better save. It just feels like Black Bunny Gaming just cannot seem to find that either that final touch or even just a shot on net that can get past the back line.
And we saw a shot opportunity come in from Hammer that was just off to the side, leading to that Kiki shot. And we've seen that from Hammer a little bit recently, just a little lack of accuracy. There's another one coming right there. I think Hammer was aiming for that top corner, not quite able to slip it through. But it's just all these challenges just not going Black Bunny's way, and BDS looking to take this first game as 30 seconds rings out on the clock here. Not a lot of time for this team to find one equalizer. Vezek's going to try for the challenge. Gonna go straight back to Hammer. Goes to Kiki, but it's gonna be wide again. Such close chances, and they're looking very dangerous, but they just can't seem to get them on net.
Yeah, it's just felt like ever since that goal, they just handled it well, but Vezek's here just can't get it quite past the second man there. Now Reverb takes it up, looking probably just to kill the ball. Ball will be killed, and Big Dragon Squad take game 1.
And I think that was just a really unfortunate move for Black Bunny Gaming. I definitely think that they had chances there. Hammer ending the game with 6 shots by himself. It's just, you gave that one opportunity to BDS, they capitalized on it, and from that point, just everything didn't seem to go right for Black Bunny Gaming. Their shots were just a little inaccurate, but that's only game 1. They still got up to 4 more games to play here. I'm sure that they'll be able to find some sort of a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing to remember is that was only game 1, and it was only 1 goal. It was 1 goal that really decided that game. So just keep up the pressure, and just eventually one of these balls has to go through. So
yeah, I agree. And along with that, Black Bunny Gaming has a bit of a history of losing that game 1, especially in this iteration, this season of the league. We've seen that a lot where they lose the first game, but it's just a warm-up, and then we get into game number 2 and they look completely different, as we're about to right now. And we'll see how the team fares going into this game number 2. They did look really strong in that game number 1, so all we need to see from them is a goal, which we might see just now. Pixel getting that save, the bump coming out, allowing the goal to pump in, and that is perfect from Black Bunny.
I mean, we saw it in game 1, and I'm seeing it in game 2. The game has been really physical between these two. Demos and bumps coming out from both sides, and a huge one there to put them up 1-0, like 17 seconds in.
And as we said, I think that was a bit crucial for Black Money Gaming to find that first goal, because that's just going to give them a lot of momentum that I think they were running away with in game number 1. They definitely looked like the stronger team on the back half of that game. Now it's just going to give them the confidence to move forward and continue that. Maybe this game number 2 is that blowout game we were talking about, but not if Reverb can score that. Very close. It is going to go in, though. Pixel in the best spot there to be able to get this pass out.
I was going to say, one of the advantages of scoring first is you can kind of dictate the pace, but not if they counter like that. I mean, just an insane musty flick off the back wall, and then Pixel in the perfect spot to put it home. And now we're tied already.
That's exactly what we like to see. Nice, even score line, less than a minute in. Means that we're going to get a really aggressive game. As we can see right here, Hammer having an open opportunity. I think another bump on the back line, and it is going to be 2-1 to Black Money Gaming here.
Oh yeah, looks like, I think that might have been Vezix that got the bump there on the back line. I don't know who it was on, but I could see a car flailing and then Vezix driving away, so one must assume that Vezix got the bump and gave Hammer an open net.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a good bump, and that is kind of what Vezix is known for. Along with his shots and passes he's been getting this season, he has been the main line of attack for Black Money Gaming. He is the main bumper, the main chaos maker. Really makes it hard to kind of keep your rotations very straightforward, and that is a game plan that only really Black Money Gaming has been able to perfect in this league so far. So we'll have to see if it helps them out even more going forward, as this big hinge goes off the back wall. Should be an easy save for Reverb, though. That's going to be an awkward one out far past to Dixie. It's going to be off the sidewall. Can't get the double tap. It looks like we're going to stay at this 1-goal lead for Black Money Gaming for a little bit.
Yeah, it just seems like these teams are so evenly matched that they just both kind of trade attacks back and forth, and most of the games fought in the midfield. As that is a huge save there on the back line. Little double commit too from Black Bunny Gaming. But it doesn't bite him this time, as Hammer just takes it up.
Oh! What just happened there? I'm sorry, I looked away for half a second and suddenly it's in the net.
Weird touch from Vezix and no one's back.
Ah, okay. Unfortunate coming out from Vezix there. Probably just a bit of a weak touch. Needing a little bit more upfield. But Big Dragon Squad able to take advantage of that. And this might be a kickoff goal, but Kiki is in a good place. Leaves it for Vezix, but not the best rotation. Oh, as that was close from Big Dragon Squad. No one else able to go forward on the attack. And Hammer is going to have possession. Can't reach that ball with a flip reset, though, and is going to have to leave it on the back wall. Now it's going to be up to Kiki to play the defensive line well. Does, though, but Pixel just so confident in that challenge, going up immediately. We'll get away from them, but we're seeing some good opportunities coming up from both teams here.
It feels like when Big Dragon Squad has control of the ball, they just start playing at a pace that is just throwing Black Bunny to just throw car after car after car at the ball, which leaves them susceptible to like just massive overcommits and just little awkward touches and double commits. But Kiki really playing like the big like attacker this game. Like I've seen a lot of attack come out of him. So
might see another one, but unfortunately Kiki has no boost. In fact, nobody besides Vezix has boost on Black Bunny Gaming right now. Advantage for Big Dragon Squad, as Reverb takes a perfectly placed shot into the top middle of the net. You can see Hammer guarding that near post and Kiki on that far post. Reverb gets it in such a spot, it's so difficult to save if they're anywhere else. And that's going to be goal lead to Big Dragon Squad early on in the series. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It was just a great shot. I mean, Kiki gets up, 2 people are up, but just slots it like right above both their cars. An excellent finish, but Game's not over yet, and Black Bunny have good pressure as Hammer's just gonna take the shot at net, but a huge save from Reverb and another huge save from Pix off the Rezix's shot. Huge defense here coming out from Big Dragon.
Now Hammer having to get some defense of his own. He has 70 boost, which isn't going to be enough to reach this. Dixie already off the top of the ceiling to get that. Now Hammer with the 50. Vezix to move that forward. It's not going to get past Dixie again, though. They've been playing this really well, getting perfect challenges, perfect passes. They've been doing everything they need for this Big Dragon squad, and they're looking like a very dominant team. Now 30 seconds left, and Black Bunny need to find one now, or else they're going to be facing match point against BDS. Something that they were probably not expecting going into this with a sub. Reverb with the shot, and Kiki to save it.
It was an excellent pass from Hammer, I believe, but just nobody there in the midfield for it. It just feels like there's a little disconnect maybe from Black Bunny Gaming as they're just double committing and not seeming to find each other. And it's looking like Big Dragon Squad's going to go up on match point here in game 2.
And I agree, as the ball does hit the ground. This is actually supposed to be BDS, not Black Bunny Gaming. Saw that wrong, guys. My bad.
Scripted.
Scripted.
Leak.
That being said, though, we have seen this a couple of times where Black Bunny Gaming does go down by 2, and then they end up... I mean, the last time they did that, they went up against Fox Clan, and what happened? They reverse swept them. Are we about to see the same thing?
We could, but I mean, first, if you're Black Bunny Gaming, you need to like just relax. You know, don't be too worried. You know, you are down 0-2, but reverse sweeps have happened a lot in this league, especially the last couple weeks. So, series isn't over, game's not over, and we've seen good attack. So you just got to find that final piece.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, Black Bunny Gaming going to have a challenge now. Big Dragon Squad looking extremely impressive in that last game. And now they're going to have to get a reverse sweep. As I think we'll be ready to get into Game 3 here momentarily. And yeah, everybody's already hopping in. So just to let you guys know, we will have replays. But, after these games, but these guys are moving so fast, we want to get all the action showing, so it will show after the match is over, and possibly after this game if we can get it booted up really quick. But here on DFH Stadium, we're going to see how these guys play, and Kiki going to start us off with a goal early on for Black Bunny Gaming once again.
That attack looked a lot better there from Black Bunny Gaming. Every single player coming together to make that play work out, and Kiki once again just finding the open net right in front of him. So a good start for Black Bunny Gaming, but it was also a good start last game, so we'll see if they can hang on.
Now Kiki over to Hammer. Hammer going to have that possibly off the sidewall, but doesn't have the boost to reach it. Vezix going to just play this up into Reverb. Makes that ball touch a little bit heavy, a little harder to follow through on. And now a demo. Gonna be awkward for Reverb, but pass out Kiki with the shot, and that's gonna be a second one for Kiki early in this game.
Black Bunny going back to just bumping and demoing, and it works. And if it works, don't fix it, I say. Great play there, good pass from Hammer to find Kiki, who once again finds the net, finds it beautifully, and go up 2-0.
We got Zixi on the back wall, off the kickoff immediately. This is a dangerous spot. Goes for the fake and delay on that flip. Almost works out, but Reverb hits the bar. Now they're going to have to scramble back as they may have pushed it forward a little bit too heavy. That's going to be the third goal for Kiki, already with the hat trick less than a minute in.
It seems like Kiki's just stepped up this series to be just the main goal scorer. And the rest of the team is just either trying to find Kiki or just trying to disrupt the other team to make them uncomfortable. And it just keeps on working. Good attack there from Big Dragon Squad, but just might have pushed up a little too far and just opened up themselves to be one demo away from being uncomfortable.
Oh my.
As almost a pull shot into the net. My goodness.
Oh, Big Dragon Squad looking for the comeback here. think you could tell Reverb by the text chat, maybe a little bit perturbed by how fast Black Bunny got the lead in this game. But as we said, this is something that's more than expected from Black Bunny. They've done it countless. They just show up after game 2. Now an awkward spot again for BDS, as Rue the Fuzzy does get that one away. But it is going to be straight over to the corner, and it just seems like Black Bunny playing a lot faster and more composed this game.
Yeah, they just seem to be more connected. They haven't really like overcommitted as much, haven't really seemed to double commit as much. You know, most importantly though, I'd say is like, even though you're up 3-0 right now, don't let off the gas. Just keep this pressure, because if it keeps working, you don't open up the door for the chance of a comeback here in game 3.
Big dunk coming out from Kiki as Zixi will get the dunk, or the demo, on Hammer. That's going to put them in an awkward situation to start. Zixi trying to get up, get a touch on that ball. Not going to work out for Big Dragon Squad, though. They do have quite a hill to climb. Half the game remaining and 3 goals down. If they want to take this in a sweep, they're going to have to find some sort of opportunity, some moment to pounce on it. And Zixi and Reverb, a little bit of a double commit there, as they might just be too eager to get these goals. Now, Rue the Fuzzy up to get this save. It's just going to go out to Vezix. Long clear downfield. And that's not a great touch from Kiki. Zixi might be able to push on Hammer. It's not going to lead to anything just yet. That's another big clear out, and that's another goal for Black Bunny Gaming.
It just felt like the roles reversed. Like now, like it seems like Black Bunny Gaming has all the momentum, all the speed, all the pressure, and Big Dragon Squad's just on the back foot, being forced awkward, forcing the double commits, forcing the bad touches. It's already 4-0, and it feels like game 3 might be wrapped up. But 2 minutes, 4 goals, it's possible.
Possible, but it's definitely hard to do. We'll have to see if Big Dragon Squad has what it takes to at least get us to an overtime. Reverb over to Zixi. It just seems like Black Bunny's challenges have been so much more well placed in this game. They're getting a lot more beats in the midfield. I don't know if that's due to them just positioning better, or if maybe Big Dragon Squad is just a little bit in their own heads about taking this in a sweep.
It definitely... I was going to give you that point. Hammer goes for a double tap, and I think that just rings off the bar. I'm not entirely sure. A great attempt, and just a reminder of how good Hammer is. But now I think there's a bit of an overcommit, but can't quite take advantage of it. I think that net might have been open, but just no shot on net there from Big Dragon Squad.
I'm still trying to figure out what I just saw. I think I saw Rue the Fuzzy trying to zap dash into the ball, and I think it worked. But it just took them a little bit out of position to grab the boost and continue on with it. Very interesting. Another big shot coming out from Hammer. This time Zixi will be at the end there. But Reverb to clear it. Hammer just waits for that ball to bounce down to him. And I think that's something that Black Bunny has done so well in this game, as Hammer is going to take another goal here. This is definitely going to be the end of game number 3. But as I was saying, Hammer, just knowing that Reverb wasn't going to get back to the ball in time, just takes his time with it, cuts it when it touches the ground, and gets it over the rest of the opposition. And I think that positioning from Hammer is definitely leading Black Bunny to success right now.
Yeah, it's just great pressure here from Black Bunny Gaming, and like I said, it feels like the roles reversed. I think they just triple committed. I'm not entirely sure, but
I'm pretty sure.
And I think 2 are facing towards the net, 1 was facing away from the net.
Yeah, I think so.
That's one of the more interesting things I've seen in a Rocket League match, but it just looks like my threes game, so not too deterred or shocked by that.
Well, we said it was scripted. We just did it a game too early. Black Bunny Gaming does win that game number 3, and we will have a bit of a series on our hands, and this is where you get scared if you're Big Dragon Squad. You know that Black Bunny Gaming has the tendency to come back in these sort of situations, and you cannot give them any more momentum. If you go to a game 5, that's going to be tough. Oh, that is the wrong thing. Why did you do the wrong thing? No. Well, we tried. We tried, chat, but NA production reigns supreme. Anyway, Nova, what do you think about that last game? We did say Black Bunny was going to get a game where they just dominated, and 5-0, I would say that's domination. Oh, I think we're having a bit of a disconnect here from Nova, so give us just a second, guys. This is gonna be me, but we will be getting into this game for shortly. And if you're BDS, you really just gotta stop this aggression coming out from Black Bunny Gaming. You're gonna have to keep them on the back foot. You're gonna want to score as fast as possible to get into this one. We're gonna see if Big Dragon Squad can do just that, as we are gonna move into game 4. We're gonna see exactly how this is gonna work.
It was a huge game 3 from Black Bunny Gaming, as they're going to go on the front foot again to start off game 4. They've scored first, I think, the last 3 games. And I mean, you'd hope this result goes more towards how last game went instead of how game 2 went, but quick goal there for Black Bunny Gaming puts Big Dragon Squad at a deficit again early, and probably just does not help with their mental right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's definitely tough, but if you are BDS, you just need to try and equalize as quick as possible. Try to get back in the groove and try to take this game. As I was saying during the break, I don't think they want to go to a game 5, because Black Bunny Gaming has had that tendency to really turn on when their lives are on the line here, as their upper bracket lives have been on the line for the last game in about a minute now, and they've done extremely well. Now outscoring Big Dragon Squad 6-0 in these last 2 games. Vezix trying to make it 7-0, but not going to happen just yet. Hammer off the ceiling, 100 boost, uses a lot of it to get down to that ball in the first place though. Can't really take the shot. Now Kiki, not the best touch. It's going to go off the sidewall and really fuzzy. Pass up to Zixi, but it's not the best touch from Zixi either. That pass is really good though. Keeping possession to put it in that space was smart from them. Now can they continue on? That's 3:47 on the clock, and Big Dragon Squad need to at least find 1, maybe 2 now, as Kiki gets an insane double tap.
I have no idea how many goals Kiki scored this series, but ones like that, just great double touch over 1, off the backboard, down, just below the bar. Kiki's showing just an incredible form of scoring this series so far.
Agreed. Kiki is looking like a different level of player right now, and it all stems from that game 3 performance. As I said, something about Black Bunny going to match point, whether it's for or against them, it changes the team. It makes them play so much differently, and it really seems to work out in their favor most times rather than against them, as it has done so here. But Big Dragon Squad going to need to try and find a way to stem the bleeding quick. That's not going to be what they want, as Hammer gets a 3rd goal for the team. And already, less than 2 minutes in, it just seems like Black Bunny is running away with it.
Just an awkward ball, I think, off the back wall from Vezix, where he just bounces it in a spot that just throws all of Big Dragon Squad off on defense. And it's just an easy goal for whoever wanted it, and both Kiki and Hammer wanted it, and they luckily didn't screw each other up, and instead, Hammer will get the goal, as Hammer now goes off the ceiling for a ceiling shot off the bar. Kiki, though, just always in the right spot at the right time to clean up the play, and gets another goal in this series.
And if you're BDS, you gotta figure out what's going wrong here. Just an unfortunate 50 from Reverb. It goes right underneath the car. They're gonna have to figure this one out quick, because game 5 on the horizon with still over half the game remaining. I definitely think comeback potential is possible, but now we're at a 9, make that 10-0 goal deficit in just these last 2 games for Black Bunny Gaming. They're just running away. They're doing every single thing right, and it just seems like Big Dragon Squad just doesn't have anything in this series right now.
I feel like a big thing is just that in the first couple games, you know, and even in the last 2 games, Hammer's gone for a lot of shots, but just no luck, it seems. And Kiki's just stepped up to be that goal scorer this series, and that's become huge for them the last 2 games, helping them go on this 10-0 run right now. Big Dragon Squad with good pressure, but they just cannot seem to crack that defense of Black Bunny Gaming now.
Now, through the fuzzy, trying to get up to that. It's not going to work. Reverb does get past the final member of Black Bunny.
Oh,
Opportunity for a goal, but Dixie hits it too
Oh.
hard. And that's going to be away from Reverb. No goal for Big Dragon Squad. And it's just opportunities like this that they really need to capitalize on to get any sort of momentum.
It felt like just 2 touches that should have been on net, and both just one goes wide to the right and one goes wide to the left. Just unfortunate for them, and the 10-0 run just continues.
Now a chance. Dixie with the shot. It is going to go in. And they finally stop the drought that has been plaguing them as Big Dragon Squad do get their first goal of the game. Only a minute 39 left to find 4, though. I think that's going to be really tough considering the team you're facing.
I mean, it's a goal that at least stops the scoreless run, but it feels like a goal that might have just come a little late. 4 goals in like a minute 30 is a huge task, but if they can get ones like that real quickly, they can definitely make this a much more interesting game 4.
We'll see if Reaver can do it. There's an opening coming out, but Kiki is there in the defense, able to put it away. Really fuzzy with the pass. Dixie can't get a touch on that ball. And it is going to go out to Black Bunny Gaming. Reaver does play that well off of his own back wall, and it is past some of the members of Black Bunny Gaming. However, Hammer, the one you don't want in the back of the net, is the only one remaining. Now, Reaver looking for the double tap, but the ball doesn't fall fast enough. And that is going to be another opportunity for Black Bunny. And Hammer, when you give him the ball, he's just going to score that. Brazil on the horizon for Black Bunny Gaming.
Well, it wasn't the double reset or anything really overly flashy, but I saw the space. You know what's going to happen. That just feels like a lose situation for Big Dragon Squad. And it feels like Game 4 is pretty much wrapped up.
That's going to be really tough going into Game 5 with Big Dragon Squad. You're going to have a lot of pressure on your shoulders, especially when you had won the first 2 games. But as we said, this is kind of expected from Black Bunny at this point. This is not the first time that we've seen them do something like this. It's actually become more common than uncommon here, at least as far as the Swiss rounds were concerned. Always going to a game number 5 for, I think, the most part. I think the only time they didn't was in that round 5. So that does give advantage to Black Bunny because they are used to situations like this where everything is on the line. In fact, they thrive in it as 10 seconds hits the clock. Kiki tries to put in that final goal for the Brazil. Vezek's a little bit too far to the side, but that ball is going to hit the ground, and Black Bunny Gaming tying up the series as we go into a pivotal Game 5.
Feels like Black Bunny Gaming want that Brazil. They're just keeping it up and just not letting it die, but this is going to boom it away and make sure this game ends 6-1 and not in a Brazil.
And if you gotta say one thing, you gotta give credit to the resiliency of Black Bunny Gaming, as how many Game 5s over the last 4 weeks have we had? And Black Bunny just seems to be in every single one of them, and they always put on either a really good performance or just a unfortunate performance, I would say. I cannot hear. Give me a second, but I think we will be good. But, I mean, yeah, what can you say about Black Bunny?
I mean, it just shows resilience. They even went down. They had to reverse sweep the Swiss bracket, I believe. Or maybe not. Did they? No, they went down 0-2 or 1-2. Either way, they had to come back. They fight hard, and just not enough can be said about them.
Yeah, I have to agree, but, I will say, like, gotta give credit to Black Bunny here. Oh, we got kicked from the server, so we're gonna have to start a new one. That is annoying. But it is fine. We will get that going. momentarily, and we are going to get into game number 5 here. Oh, it seems like everybody's now getting into the match somehow. Okay, now it looks like everybody's left. Okay, we are going to load into Champions Field. And of course, you know, playoffs, the first match, of course we have to go to a game 5. It's all scripted. You guys know all of this. So we're going to see exactly how this goes. Everybody is getting ready for game number 5. Let's move on into it and see which one of these teams moves on to play against Dignipause.
Who doesn't love Game 5? Game 5's Game 7's Champions Field. We love it. And of course, Black Bunny Gaming has to take us to it after going down 0-2 in the series. All momentum doesn't really matter here. It just kind of comes down to what team plays the best in this game.
Yeah, we're gonna just have to see, and I think that first goal is gonna be very pivotal once again. It seems like, in most cases, the team to score first is going to have the momentum to bring on, and it might be Vezix, as it is going to be saved by Zixi at the last second, but that was a well-placed shot, and a lot of pressure for Black Bunny.
Oh.
Kiki with a great double tap, and Kiki has kind of been carrying their team to the last few games, if I do say so myself.
Who else could it be for them? He's just scored so much the last 3 games. And he just continues to score goal after goal for them. Puts them up 1-0 here in Game 5.
Now, Freebird trying to get that win right here. Trying to find a goal, trying to find an equalizer. It's been so hard to score on this Black Bunny squad these last couple of games. Only able to put in the 1 in the last 2 games. They're going to have to at least double that in this game number 5 if they want to take the victory.
Definitely felt like Big Dragon Squad's pressure has come back from the previous games. They feel like they're playing at their speed of play again. Despite being down 1-0, maybe trying to get out to their normal play. But I think something must have happened there because there's just no one back for Big Dragon Squad, and Vezix puts away an easy open net there.
Yeah, and just a little bit of an overcommit for Big Dragon Squad there. Very eager to get that goal, but unfortunately just leads to an open backfield, and very good pressure from Kiki and Vezix to put that in.
Just a unfortunate overcommit there, especially in a Game 5 where it felt like there was momentum maybe going their way there on that attack, but just couldn't get it past the midfield with Black Bunny Gaming, just constantly putting pressure on him. As now a shot from Kiki just goes a bit too high. And now a good counter here as they got one man up. Now just can't get the touch though. Now it just feels like all the problems that were on Black Bunny Gaming in games 1 and 2 are now falling onto Big Dragon Squad. Overcommits and just can't seem to find that final touch.
It just seems like there's a lack of communication from Big Dragon Squad right now. There's a lot of double commits and a lot of kind of weird positioning from some of these guys, as Vezix is going to get another goal. And you can see Zixi going just upfield here, expecting Pixel to get a huge flick over Vezix, and that just doesn't happen. Leaving the net a little bit open. Vezix did place that shot very well to go right into the back of the net, as any more to the left and it would have been a save. But it just seems like everything Big Dragon Squad is doing from Game 3 onwards just hasn't been working out.
I think a large part of that has to just do with just Black Bunny Gaming playing back to their strengths and just going back on what works for them. That makes you wonder why they would play any different, because it just seems to work as they're just handling Big Dragon Squad here.
Now, that's an excellent opportunity, but it is going to be saved by Black Bunny, and I mean, Their defense has been top notch in this series as well. As much as they haven't had to use it as much in these last 3 games due to their aggressive attack style, their defense still has been on point to not allow much of anything past their goal line. And they have to score 3 goals with less than a minute and a half left. That is going to be a huge task for Big Dragon Squad. Gonna need to see a push really soon if they want it. But Kiki, so much quicker to that challenge. It just seems like the confidence level of Black Bunny has skyrocketed. And a 4th goal going in from Hammer. That might be the series.
It just feels like there's not much Big Dragon Squad can do. They're stuck on defense. They're putting together good saves, but just so much pressure from Black Bunny Gaming. And even in their counterattacks or their attacks, Black Bunny Gaming themselves have just stayed locked down on defense and just find easy and quick ways out of their own half. So definitely feels like this game's wrapped up, but there's still a little bit of time here and a little bit of hope, unless Kiki makes saves like that to prevent them from scoring that quickly.
Now, Hammer up to the ceiling. I mean, at this point, nothing Black Money Gaming needs to do here except stall for time. There's really not enough time for 4 goals. You're gonna need a goal less than every 10 seconds, unless this goes in right here, which it might. Dixie has a shot, but Kiki, the first one to it. I think that's gonna call it right there. 5 seconds per goal, just not enough time. Kiki trying to get another shot. Hammer in with the, but it's gonna be saved. But that save in the end is gonna be a little bit too late, as Hammer is going to get that 5th goal, and with 7 seconds left, Black Bunny Gaming now reverse sweep Big Dragon Squad, and they're gonna go immediately play against Dignipause.
Just an insane bounce back from going down 0-2, being completely like outplayed to then just outplaying Big Dragon Squad, and I think outscoring them, like, I'm trying to do the math in my head real quick, like I think 16-1, might be 17-1 if anybody can touch your note. It'll go down, and Black Bunny Gaming goes through, and Big Dragon Squad is sent down to lowers.
Yeah, Reverb sending out the GGs and well played. And Black Bunny Gaming now moving forward immediately to play against the next opponent, which will be Dignipause, your team, Nova. I gotta ask, seeing them just reverse sweep Big Dragon Squad like that, how confident are you guys going into this match now?
I just have to keep staying confident, keep trusting my teammates, so I feel confident going in. Things I saw there, there's some things that we can maybe take advantage of, but I'm sure it'll be a good series. As much as I would love for it to be a sweep, it'll probably be a great series and go to 5.
Yeah, I have to agree. And well played to both teams there. You guys did excellent. Unfortunately for BDS, that does put them in the lower bracket. So we're going to have to see how they fare there. Meanwhile, guys, letting you know just now that the B stream is live, putting that link in the Twitch chat, and we will make an announcement in the Discord server on break. But check out twitch.tv/attackingtoads for the B stream. I think they're about to get started with the Lumosity versus Fox Clan match on there. That one's going to be great, so you're not going to want to miss it. Meanwhile, over here, we are going to go to break here very soon. But before that, any final thoughts before you go ahead and get ready for your own game?
All right. Thank you for letting me tag along.
Yeah, you got any final things to say before you get going?
All I can say is I know ball. Black Bunny in 5.
Hey, you know what? You know ball. And with that, guys, we are ready to go to break. So after this game, we will be back with our next match. It is going to be Dignipause versus Black Bunny Gaming. Winner moves on to Championship Sunday. Loser is going to have to play one more match today in the lower bracket. It's going to be great to see, guys. Stick with us. And when we are back, we'll have our next match. See you guys after the break. Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to RFDL Playoffs Day 1. This is the A stream for the playoffs. I'm Ecliptic Fades. I'm joined by member of X3 Tactics. It is Shy. How are we doing today?
I'm okay. I'm ready to watch some great Rocket League. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, we just saw some great Rocket League as BDS versus Black Bunny Gaming went to an exciting Game 5, and Black Bunny has won that. So in the last 5 series they've had 4 reverse sweeps, 2 of them against them and 2 of them for them. So these guys are a bit on a tear. I think their kryptonite now is a series score of 1-1.
I think I kind of understand. I've been watching a lot of their plays, and it seems like the ones that they do reverse sweep is the ones where they go 0-2. So I feel like to beat this team, you might need to go 1-1 just to get rid of that curse. All the other reverse sweeps, they've been on top.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see how they play here. Now, this is a bit of a different format for these guys. Usually on these playoffs, they have to wait a little bit before getting into a game. Now they're going straight into it. As I said, this is the A stream. Right now, the B stream is going on at twitch.tv/AttackingToad. He is hosting the B stream today. They are about to get into their first match of the day, which is going to be Luminosity versus Fox Clan. The winner of that will be going against Gentle Paws. Meanwhile, the loser will be going up against the loser from this game, which is going to be Dignipaz versus Black Bunny Gaming. And now I gotta ask, Shai, from your experience, this team, Black Bunny, they just came off of a reverse sweep, moving into this series. They're gonna be warm. How do you think Dignipaz is gonna fare going up against that?
Honestly, I'm kind of favoring Indignapaz's favor here because, yes, they did win. Black Bunny did win, and they can move that momentum, but it's also probably some jitters in that Black Bunny locker room, as, you know, they barely squeaked by, and they might try to either change too much so that doesn't happen again, or don't change enough. And I think Dignipaz coming in with fresh minds and not already being so shaky and stressed, I think actually might fare a little bit better here than Black Bunny.
Yeah, I have to say, they had a really impressive run, Dignipaz did, through the Swiss as well, taking down some really tough opponents. I think that's going to give them a bit of an edge going into this, a lot of a confidence boost. And Infernal, Sylvie, and I believe Nova, who was just previously casting, are going to be on that roster. And that is quite a powerful roster, I gotta say. Sylvie and Infernal on the same team is absolutely insane.
Absolutely. But don't scoff at them because they're definitely a team to beat. There's definitely some inconsistency issues there on Dignipaz, but when they're on, I feel like they can beat anyone in a sweep. But I think Black Bunny, Black Bunny's doing Black Bunny things, right? You got the semi-weak backline, but the one thing that I've seen Vezix do in the past week is honestly play a stronger backline than he has all season. Nothing against him, but I feel like he's definitely, either there was a talk in that locker room or whatever, but Hammer told him what he needed to do, and he seems like he's actually doing it. And Dignipaz, I just think needs to do Dignipaz things, and I think it should be an amazing match.
Yeah, now, I will say, implications on this match. Winner moves on to Championship Sunday. Done for the day. Loser has to go down to the bottom bracket and then play one more best of 5 on the day. How detrimental do you think that would be for Black Bunny Gaming if they lose here, having to play 3 best of 5s, one right after the other?
I think for Hammer, it might be a good thing because I know how much Hammer grinds. He'll be on this for like 6 hours a day. But I think for the GC1 and the lower ranked Vezix and Kiki, I think might hinder them a little bit. I know for me, when I'm playing for 4 hours, it's like a curve where I peak at some point and then I just hit the floor. So, but that's talking about my own game, not about Black Bunny's game. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that plays.
Yeah, for sure. I will agree with that. I definitely think that this could go either way. I think it's going to be a tough one for Black Bunny, though. I think Dignipaz has a bit of a different play style than BDS, and I think it's going to make it really difficult for them to adapt to. However, if Dignipod goes up early in this series, then I start worrying for them, because we've seen what Black Bunny Gaming can do now multiple times when it comes to reverse sweeping. Do you think that that is in Dignipod's head at all?
Maybe a little bit. I think it's in everyone's head because when you get 2 up on Black Bunny, I think everyone kind of like says, okay, we got this. We got to beat Black Bunny. We're going to beat Black Bunny. And then they look away for one moment and then it's 2-2 going into a game 5 momentum in Black Bunny. So I feel like you need to take Black Bunny. If you go 2 up on Black Bunny, you need to take him like you did game 1, you know, because I think Hammer being Hammer, he can change his play styles exactly to what counters yours, and sometimes it takes 2 games, but that's all he needs to do the reverse sweep. But I think, yeah, I don't know, actually. I feel like it's just Dignipaz needs to play Dignipaz's game. They need to do what they've done all season after that roster change middle of the season, and I think they could at least make a run in this tournament for sure. I think I could see them in the final 4 at least.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last question. We've talked about both teams. We've talked about their strengths, their weaknesses a little bit. What's the series score? Who's winning? Who's going on to Championship Sunday right now?
I think I'm going to do a double prediction. I think it's going to be 1-1 into game 2, and I think Dignipaz is going to take it in 4.
Hey, I'm giving it to Dignipaz in 5. I think they get over the Black Bunny Gaming hump after we get a tied series, but we're going to have to see how everybody goes as we're going to get into this second game right now, guys. Dignipaz versus Black Bunny Gaming. It's going to be your playoff upper bracket semifinal. We're going to be going straight into the kickoff here off this rip, and we're gonna find out who has what it takes to make it top 4 early on. And one thing you're gonna have to make sure you watch out for, if me and Nova saw it last game, Sky, or Shy, why did I say Sky? My bad.
Sky.
One thing you're gonna have to look out for is Black Bunny's offense off of the kickoff at the start of these games. They have constantly been the first team making a goal very early on in these games, and I think it could give them the advantage if they can start out with that momentum.
I think so too, and I think knowing Dignipaz, they are really good at reversing. Oh my goodness, almost a redirect, getting it back into the corner. Still dangerous for Black Bunny though, as it seems like none of them have boost. The only one who has boost is Kiki and saves it away. Still pressure, but I was saying is I think Dignipaz needs to keep momentum on that net, because especially with Kiki and Nova, I think they can definitely freak out a little bit and either waste a lot of boost or under or over rotate. And it seems like Dignipaz is doing that as another shot goes in the backboard. Here's another one to the backboard. Kiki going up, using all his boost, and Nova is trying to cut down Hammer as Sylvie gets the ball back. And this is scary when Hammer overcommits a little bit like that, as Vezix goes up, making 3 Black Bunny misses, but Hammer's back, and Nova hitting it off to the side. And what do you think? What are you seeing here so far?
Seeing a lot of pressure coming out from Dignipaz, which is good to see early on. Definitely shows that they are playing at least a little bit more aggressive today than we usually see. Usually I see a lot of defensive stance from them moving on to counterattacks. This seems to be a little bit different, playing a bit more aggressive, and against the Black Bunny Gaming squad that has momentum from a series win, that might be exactly how they need to approach this. Meanwhile, Vezix trying to get that off the sidewall. It's not going to work, and Sylvie gets a demo, but it's going to be straight over to Hammer. Hammer to Vezix. Vezix to the backboard, and Vezix tries for the double tap, but it's going to be a crossbar ping. Bit of a triple commit, though, from Dignipaz. They're lucky to get out of that without a scratch.
Absolutely. It seems like it's the curse of the open nets for both of these teams. I think I can count more than on one hand about how many times I think them had an open net. Infernal trying to do a flip reset double tap, almost gets it though. And it also seems like a lot of overcommits is happening, and I like the confidence, but I think they need to watch themselves a little bit. But like I said, I just think it's the curse of the open nets a little bit, as I'm waiting to see at least one slip in. It's almost inevitable at this time as 2 minutes come across the clock as Kiki tries to go up for that, and another double commit coming out of Dignipause as here comes a pass mid, bumping Kiki. Infernal up, reading that perfectly on little to no boost. And I don't know who is in net, but there's not much you can do for that one as Hammer, as what's good feathering from Infernal.
I will say this is looking eerily similar to game 1 against BDS, where Dignipause goes up very early due to a slight mistake. Not very early, but halfway through the game. And it's a very low-scoring game. And that's something that we saw from Hammer and Company just a little bit ago against BDS. It just seemed like in those first 2 games, they couldn't get any shots on target. They were just very out of position a lot of the time. Now a second goal from Infernal, and that's going to be the deviation that we want to see from Dignipause, if they're going to be able to put that in off of this bounce.
Infernal stealing the boost from Hammer. I think that's what definitely got that goal there. Kind of, it was a little bit scary going into a double commit a little bit, but Infernal grabbing the boost from Hammer and then putting it top corner. Not much you can do, as here's the pressure that you were talking about off of Black Bunny, but a double commit comes out as it's a 1v1, more like a 1v2, and Hammer's racing back, able to get there as no one was mid for that pass, as free shot for Hammer goes in, as I think the rotations kind of crumbled there for Dignipause.
It's just a little bit of a tough touch for Sylvie to get back to there, and Hammer just seeing the exact place to slot that was really good from him. And I had a theory about Hammer going into this game, but he kind of washed it away with that goal a little bit. Finally getting a little bit of accuracy on the net, as there's been a few missed attempts from Black Bunny Gaming in this game. Now Infernal, that's a really awkward touch down the middle of the field right in front of his own net, but they are going to be able to get this through pretty easily. Now Infernal with control, notices that Vezix is the only one back, so plays it slow. Not able to get it past anybody, but that's going to be a fake from Nova. Vezix not able to play the 50 at that point, and Hammer going to have to move this forward. And I was starting to think that Black Bunny Gaming might be looking to go down on by 2 intentionally to try and get that that buff going into a reverse sweep, but it definitely seems like they're starting to play a little bit more aggressive here in this last half of the final minute. Lots of bumps, lots of shots, one almost going in from Hammer, gonna be saved by Sylvie. With 10 seconds left, if Dignipause can hold strong, they will take game number 1.
Yeah, I think the theory is smart, but I also think it's also a little scary because I don't want to be 2-0 down to Dignipause, as here's another center going out. No boost. Dignipause taking game 1 with capitalizing on some Black Bunny mistakes. It seems like they were very jumpy Black Bunny, and let's see if they can keep down on the ground just a little bit longer, as they give them a lot of opportunities, and I think it didn't seem as close as a match as the goal line kind of showed it. I feel like Dignipause had a lot of the control and a lot of the aggression, but they just couldn't find the opening net in the first couple of minutes. And maybe that was warming up, maybe that was not playing the first game and warming up a little bit. But I think Black Bunny could come back, and I think we're going to see a good game 2. Also, can we get a happy belated birthday to Fades here? Anyone in the chat, can we get a happy belated birthday?
Thank you. But you know what? I'm here doing what I want to do, cast some good Rocket League. And I gotta say, Dignipause looked very decent for coming into this a little bit cold. Black Bunny did show up later on in that, and it does seem like they have the forward pressure, especially in the last minute of that game, but they're gonna have to keep that going. And with Dignipause being basically Dignipause, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen so fast, so we're gonna have to see how game 2 fares for them as we get into the lobby. And we'll just have to see. As you said, I think that going to a reverse sweep situation against this team might be a bit too much to handle, but at the same time, I thought the same when it was them against Big Dragon Squad, and I mean, we see where Black Bunny is now, so maybe we don't know anything.
We're just casting, we're just little goobers on the desk. But you know, you were talking about the aggression towards kickoff, and I think that's going to be not in their favor here against Dignapause, as BDS does have a little bit slower as a shot comes out. Great save by Hammer, as another 50 from Hammer. Infernal getting that monster flick and getting it mid, as no one really has boost in that Black Bunny side, as another off touch from Sylvie. I don't think that was the touch he wanted, but you know, Sylvie has boost and a good read by Vezix. And I think nothing against Vezix. I think that was a little bit of luck. I don't think Sylvie got the touch he wanted. Vezix pre-jumped that and was able to read it like a Dr. Seuss book. But kickoff again. And what I was talking about before is I think it's going to be a different kickoff mentality, as Dignapause is faster against BDS, even in kickoffs, as Vezix getting another goal. A little bit of nerves, I think, coming out of Dignapause. What do you think?
Definitely have to agree there. Maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe just a little bit of unexpecting the challenge going on there from Vezix just to put the shot on net. I will say, very good for Black Bunny Gaming to get a quick lead, and something that I am kind of expecting coming from the roster is their attack-heavy playstyle has just been so good in these last couple of series that they've had. We're going to have to see if they can continue. Vezix is going to be up in the air, fakes it down low to get under Nova. Sylvie is going to be the last one in the back, having to clear this one, unable to do so off that bounce, but will take it off the wall. And I think this is the big difference where it comes to Dignapause and Big Dragon Squad. Big Dragon Squad usually goes for very direct sort of shots. Meanwhile, Dignapause goes for a lot more mechanical type plays, which can throw off Black Bunny Gaming if they're not careful.
Absolutely. And another thing that Dignapause has been doing good in both games, it just hasn't worked out this game, is boost control. I feel like they've been stealing a lot of Black Bunny's boost and able to keep pressure up, as Hammer is getting the beat on Nova. I think it was Infernal wasn't able to get there, and I think Hammer has sped up just a little bit, realizing that Dignapause is a little bit faster, but also not reverse sweep watch. So I think 3 minutes remaining, it's definitely still doable, but the way that Black Bunny is playing, at least in this game, I don't see it happening, as Vezix getting another demo out. Sylvie has to protect it to the corner. Hammer's with full boost, as another 50 goes up, and Infernal able to get the ball back over him, as here comes another double commit from Hammer and Kiki, but Hammer able to keep going with it as Kiki died off before he used too much boost, as a double almost comes out from Infernal. Just needed probably 12 more boost for that to happen, as here comes another fake, as Hammer is in a 1v2 situation and kind of throws it away a little bit. Infernal not getting the touch that he wanted, and here comes it back mid. And I think the story for this game a little bit, I don't think Dignapause has got the touches that they really wanted, is I think 2 of the 3 goals have really came out of just missed touches that either didn't go as far as they wanted or did not go where they needed to be.
Yeah, and they're just going to have to figure out exactly what's going wrong in this game and how to correct it for game number 3. It looks like that's where we're going to be going. Unfortunately, Sylvie pushing a little bit too far forward. Not expecting the dunk coming out from Hammer. And Kiki actually in the perfect position there to get the hit forward. Now Black Bunny Gaming up by 4. We have said 2 minutes left, 1:55 to be specific. There's plenty of time to still score if you're Dignapause, and I think you need to try and get some momentum back in your favor, get some of those touches going the right way for you. But I don't think a comeback in this game is more than likely, which means we would be going to that 1-1 scoreline, which we'll have to see how that affects Black Bunny finally not having to reverse sweep in series.
Absolutely. And I think, honestly, if you're Dignapause, another double commit comes out, and they kind of looked like Black Bunny in the first game, kind of a little jumpy, a little double committing, and I think people need to either communicate or sit down. But, you know, also saying about double committing is Black Bunny is still double committing as they were the first game, but I think it's working out in this game for them as it didn't the first game, and sometimes that just happens. I know in my twos matches, especially in that GC1, GC2 range, you get a full team that's double committing and forcing everything, and you're just 4-0 down or 0-4 down and can't do much about it. But, you know, going in the 1-1, not reverse sweep, you know, I got one prediction right, so we'll see if I can get another prediction down for the rest of the series. Do I get a golden star if I do? What do I get?
Maybe a golden star will be applicable.
Do I get 5
We'll
minutes
have
with
to
the
see.
lamp? Do I get 5 minutes with the lamp?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't.
You gotta predict the winners correctly. You gotta get a perfect
well-
bracket for that to happen. So.
Not even
It's
5
a very
minutes with the
high-
lamp.
Nah, that's a high tier reward right there.
Oh, my bad.
Just to let
As a
everybody
triple
know.
commit, triple commit comes out, and here comes Hammer just taking that
Oh my
open
God.
net. 0-6.
Stop! They're already dead. 30 seconds left. But that being said, guys, we do have the other series just starting over on Attacking Toad's channel. It's going to be Luminosity versus Fox Clan. Fox Clan already up by 1 a minute into game number 1. So if you guys want to watch the progress on how the lower end of that top bracket is going, make sure to check that out over there. Meanwhile, we are going to get a goal here from Nova, but
Keep the morals high.
It might, but here's the thing. Now there's a chance at a Brazil. And nothing feels worse than losing in a Brazil. So you got to be very careful these next 21 seconds if you're Dignified.
I think Brazil is more of a meme thing for me. I never get down when I get Braziled. I kind of laugh it off, but I'm also very humble, and I kind of think of everything in like a one way where I'm like, oh well, and that's about it. As here comes 10 seconds coming on the clock. It's all over, but you know, we can still have fun here on the desk. Look for game 3 as, you know, demos come out, and there it is. Black Bunny Gaming taking game 2 as puts the series to 1-1, as there's half of my prediction correct in the 1-1 after game 2. We'll see if the rest of my prediction gets to go correct and I get some lamp time, but I don't know.
And that was well played from Black Bunny, really starting off the aggression very quickly in that second game. And that's exactly what we've kind of expected from them lately, but Dignipaz, they had a really good first game. It just didn't seem like anything was going right for them in this game number 2. Hopefully, if you are a Dignipaz fan, hopefully Sylvie and Inferno have kind of blocked what was going wrong in that game and will help their team adjust accordingly. So we have a much closer game 3, but 6-1, and that's not what you're liking if you are a Dignipaz fan.
Absolutely not. But if I do know one thing about Dignipaz is the vibes are always high, no matter what it is. But yeah, I think like I said, it was just a case of Black Bunny still double committing, but it's just working out in their favor on that one, and Dignipaz double committing a little bit more, and Black Bunny just able to capitalize on that. As 2 minutes come off the clock in the B stream, and Fox Clan looks to be 2 up, as here's our kickoff in the new map with here's your thing. How do you like the caster in this map? As I say that, Hammer getting 1 goal down, as what I was literally talking about, pretty much a triple commit, triple commit, just rattling in 3 Black Bunny players and going in the net, as I think some luck's on their side. But I'm gonna ask you again, how do you like this new map with this new caster? I know it's Shogun. Isn't it Shogun?
So it is Shogun, and I do appreciate that because that's what it should have been in the beginning. This is actually the first time I've heard any of this because I haven't played the new season yet. So very happy with the map look. Very happy with Shogun announcing, as it should have happened from the beginning. I kind of just want to play this map for the entirety of the tournament now. And it just looks so good.
Shogun's doing our work. We can just sit here and goober around.
We can literally just say nothing because there's save after save after save. But another shot coming in from Vezix. We're seeing a little bit of a bunch up from Dignapause, and that's going to be very scary. You don't want Black Bunny to attack again. You got to start getting your rotations a little bit more clear, a little bit more communicated, as a double commit once again from Sylvie and Nova, and it just seems like they're not on the same page. No boost for Infernal, but he is going to take this ball forward anyway, trying to fake out his opponents. Now it's going to be up to Nova against Hammer. That's going to be a tough ask, but it does work out. And now it's going to be Kiki versus Sylvie on the back line of Black Bunny Gaming. No shot can come forward just yet. Nova with the touch, but it's going to be straight off of Kiki. We're starting to see some aggression coming out from Dignapause, but we're going to need to see a little bit more if they want to score on the defense that is Black Bunny.
It seems like Sylvie is kind of trying to take the game into their hands. You know, they definitely seem faster than they were, as there's almost an amazing shot. Infernal coming out, but there is another goal from Sylvie, making it 1-1 with 3:09 left. But yeah, I think Sylvie's trying to kind of take the game into their hands as they've really speeding up and causing a little bit of the double commits. But I think if his teammates know what's going on, I think they're going to adjust pretty good. As here comes another kickoff, as good even kickoff, as Infernal gets it over, leaving Hammer in the net. As there comes another double commit, but Sylvie getting it up. This is scary. All boost in the world. Hammer being a great defender. As here comes the onslaught. Kind of looks like, you know, not to toot my own horn, old X3 tactics with the siege going on here. But I think, you know, Dignapause just needs to keep doing what they're doing, and I think it's going to be a fun match.
I definitely think that the fast approach from Sylvie is exactly what the team needs. They need a leader to kind of keep the charge going and hit Black Bunny with the aggression, especially when you have Kiki and Vezix on the back line. You really have to keep that possible for them, as Infernal does also spot the open net and slots that into the top corner. That is a very nice placement from Infernal, and Kiki just so close to getting there, but just not able to get back in time, and just a bit of an overcommit from Black Bunny. And Dignapause, for the first time in a while, has gone up in the lead.
Absolutely, and I think...
Cut the curse!
I was about to say something, but great bump coming out of, I think it was Vezix probably.
Yeah.
Yep, good bump coming out of Vezix. Good pinch out of Hammer to be right where Vezix's line was, as here comes 2-2 with 2:13 minutes remaining, as Sylvie getting it off. And yeah, Sylvie is picking up the speed, and I love seeing that, because usually when Sylvie picks up the speed, usually means fun plays that we get to watch here on the desk. But back in middle, Kiki's beating Hammer there all day, every day. Infernal trying to get it mid for anyone who's there, and does coming it out. Kiki does get it out pretty good, as Vezix is whiffing, and probably more whiffing coming out, as it just seems like everyone's trying to force the ball at least a little bit, as it kind of looks like some controlled chaos going on right now. As I don't know kind of what I'm watching, but I think controlled chaos is a good way to watch. Good way to explain this.
Oh, that was an open net opportunity for Black Bunny, and they just can't commit on it. The one thing that is scary for Dignapause about Sylvie going fast is it does end up being a little bit unwieldy at times, and that does put Dignapause into some very awkward situations, especially when they're going for touches like that. It really, when you see Sylvie up for the ball, you kind of expect it to be a hit, and when they miss the ball as they're going for something crazy like that, it does throw off your entire rotation. So it's really up to the communication to make sure that teammates are not overcommitting, they're not going too forward and not playing that back line effectively. And you're also going to be looking for a similar speed increase of Infernal to try and kind of meet Sylvie for these passes and these plays that they could come in with as an opportunity is going to come in the last 30 seconds for Dignipaws, an open net. And I think Vezik's just not realizing that he's last back, goes for the touch. It's a little bit too high, and Sylvie just has all the time in the world to put that in the back. Dignipaws up by 1.
You know, you're talking about Infernal maybe wanting to speed up. I kind of like Infernal sitting back a little bit more because we're talking about trying not to double commit a little bit more. And I think if Infernal's trying to be there, it might be more double commit as there's Hammer taking the game on his back and tying it up as he just kind of muscled through everyone, to be honest. I think Hammer's been hitting the gym a little bit.
I think Hammer's just that good. If you give him the time to shoot, he's going to shoot. He's going to put it in the back of the net. You really got to just try and hit every single ball that you can. Unfortunately for Sylvie, it just was too far ahead of them, and they weren't able to get there. Now they're going to have to watch out again as Hammer already up for this. Infernal hits the ball. Infernal looking for a pass. Vezik's double commit with Kiki to Dignipaws. Keep it up. No, they cannot, but Black Bunny Game does it for them. Kiki keeps it alive. Hammer looking for the shot. Nothing, and we are at our first overtime of the day.
I think Black Bunny is still getting the luck out of the Rocket League gods as Hammer did spawn on that close side, which is probably what saved him there. If he spawned on the other side, I think it would have been a way more dangerous opportunity. Here's a Sylvie touch. Good block by Vezix as Nova's getting down on net, and here comes another Infernal thing. Black Bunny, no boost, as here comes an open net. Kiki's missing, and 4-3 soft overtime as Dignipaws is getting 1 game up.
That was a crucial bump from Nova there. I don't know if it was on Hammer or Vezix, I believe, but Kiki just didn't have any boost. Sylvie had the entire net to shoot at and just goes far side. And that's going to be a good win for Dignipaws here, going up to match point now. If they win one more game in this series, they will be on to Championship Sunday. And we're just going to have to see what Black Bunny can do now. As we said, usually they're in a 2-0 situation at this point. Now they're going to have to find another game win to get to a game 5. But Dignipaws with the advantage here, and it looks like they've sped up a lot from their game number 2.
Absolutely. I think they came in with the same speed as game number 1, but I think game number one was just not Black Bunny's game. I think they overcommitted and missed a whole bunch, and then so they tried to do the same speed, but then Black Bunny sped up, so Dignipaws sped up again. So we'll see if Black Bunny can adjust a little bit further and maybe take it to game 5. But I kind of don't want them to take it to game 5 because I want lamp time. I want lamp time.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are going to be getting into game 4 here in just a second, and we're going to see if we're going to get to a game 5 or if we are going to be going to our lower bracket as Black Bunny now once again in the similar situation that they're used to, fighting for their lives in this upper bracket. Now against double match point, Nova trying to pass that down to Sylvie. It's not going to work out, and Infernal has stayed back. Hammer trying to find a pass in field, but nothing's there. Infernal maybe trying to look for a flick to the side. But once again, nothing. But we're seeing a lot of Dignipaws pressure to start us off. Now we might be able to see some Black Bunny pressure.
Absolutely, and there was a good bump off of Vezix, even though Vezix got the flick off, but pretty much got rid of all the pressure as Infernal did what he needed to do and just hit it off to the side, as Black Bunny is bringing a lot of the pressure as Hammer gets it over 2, scores him in top corner, 4:18 remaining, as literally they were probably listening to the stream and sped up so much, and both players pretty much playing the exact same spot, and Hammer just went over both of them. As here comes another kickoff with 4:18 remaining, also in Black Bunny's favor, as kind of, you know, it's hard to say how this game's gonna go because I feel like both of these squads can make like a game that doesn't look beatable and bring them back into the game. As Hammer gets another 50 right in front of net. Sorry, Fades.
No, you're good. I was gonna say it looks like Black Bunny's taking advantage there, as that was an excellent shot. Meanwhile, quick update on your guys' other matchup. Lumosity versus Foxland right now in overtime in game 2, it looks like. So one of those teams might be going up by 2 or 1-1. I'm not entirely sure who's winning right now. Right now, who's winning in our game is going to be Black Bunny Gaming, as another goal from Hammer goes in, and just an excellent second touch over Sylvie. And a little bit too much of an overcommit from Dignapause leaves that back net exposed once again. We're going to have to see how Dignapause can come back in this game number 4 if they're going to. Vezix tries for a redirect, and it's going to be a little bit off to the side.
Absolutely. I think Sylvie needs to start playing, like, taking the game into his hands like he did game 4 or 3. I can't count. And get some boost starving out of Black Bunny. That's the one thing that they have had this entire game is boost. Dignapause not doing as good of a job as they normally do in boost starving, as Sylvie almost getting a bump, trying to get a bump. All Black Bunnies there, all 3 of them also jumping, but it's not going to hurt them too much, as more bumps come out on the goal line from Nova, getting Hammer out of the way, as here's Infernal trying to do something with it, keeping up the pressure, as kind of making Hammer jump. Sylvie cutting off rotations a little bit, getting up on the ceiling, probably leaving it for Nova, as Nova did jump for that, but Sylvie said not today. With 2 minutes and 20 seconds coming on the clock, still an 0-2 game.
Infernal gonna try and move this one forward. It seems like Dignapause trying to find a moment where Hammer is not in an attacking spot where they can get past him pretty easily on defense and then move forward from there. But so far it hasn't been working out. Now Nova getting a 50. Sylvie trying to keep it midfield, but Hammer is going to be the first one there. Leave that ball for Kiki. Interesting choice from Hammer. I thought he'd have it, but wanted to play that back wall instead in case Sylvie comes forward. As you can see here, bit of an awkward bounce, and Nova takes the shot. Not this time by Vezix, but the Dignapause offense is mounting. Little bit of a disruptive play from Sylvie inside the net, and Infernal going to cut that lead in half.
Absolutely, and it seems like they were kind of listening to what I was saying, and I said you got to get rid of Black Bunny's boost, and that's exactly what they did. None of them had boost that entire possession, that onslaught on net, and like I said, it seems like Hammer has been kind of sitting back a little bit more, making sure he has boost, because I think he knows that they're trying to get rid of his boost. And I mean, I would like Hammer to have boost over any of his teammates, as here comes a redirect, possibly off, as Vezix getting a redirect. And again, Black Bunny not having any boost. As I say that, Hammer does get boost, gets a pass out, and that was a great passing play and great shot from Vezix, placing it exactly where the defense were not defending.
You can see Sylvie expecting Hammer to go for the shot there, so they push a little bit out of net. And that's exactly what Hammer wanted, as he passed it straight midfield to Vezix, and there's just no defense in the back line there to handle any sort of shot that's put on. Now Sylvie trying once again to get a shot on net off of that awkward bounce on the ceiling. Gonna fall over to Nova and Infernal, both double committing on this. It could be awkward for Dignapause once again. Sylvie going to have to play this defensive line. Less than a minute remaining and down by 2. Not wanting to go to a game 5 against Black Bunny, I'm sure.
Probably not. I think even though their track record is 50% in overtimes, I feel like they are playing with a little bit more fire than they normally do, as still 30 seconds left, as I kind of hope for a Dignapause overturn, because I mean, I've been saying it the entire time, and right when I open my mouth, it's not happening, and I'm not getting lamp time, and I'm an unhappy moth.
And that's just such a good pass from Hammer over to Kiki, and just no one ready for that on Dignapause's net. And that's something you're going to have to expect from Hammer. Any sort of weird angle that you can think of for a pass or a shot, you know he's going to be able to take it with full confidence, and that confidence is going to be very scary going into this game 5. Infernal going to try and get a second goal for Dignapause just to get a little bit of momentum on their side, but unfortunately, clang off the crossbar. Sylvie now to Nova, and that is exactly what I think Dignapause needs. Not going to get them the game win, but it is going to give them a little bit more confidence going into Game 5 as Nova pushes up. And Kiki not expecting to deal with Nova's shot so quickly. Just going to flip over it.
Absolutely. I feel like Nova is kind of the anchor for Dignipaz. You know, it's if Nova's playing good, they're all playing good, it seems like, because they can definitely trust on Nova. Nova is a very trustworthy player when they're consistent, and I think that's going to be the anchor coming into Game 5. And I think if you give Nova that confidence, Nova is going to beat you every single time.
Yeah, for sure.
And Fire, what's going on is I'm not getting lamp time. I don't get lamp, which is what's going on right now. And in our B stream, I actually don't know who's up, but I don't know what game that is. But Aerolax just scored an amazing double tap to make it 1-0. 2:46 remaining. I don't know who's up there. But we got our own game to worry about here. And it's going into Game 5. Black Bunny versus Dignipaz. Who do you think has the upper advantage here? I mean, Black Bunny did just... Both games that they've won have been pretty much not blowouts, but definitely been ones that you know that they're going to win.
I mean,
and
I gotta give
Dignipaz...
I mean, personally, I'm giving the edge to Black Bunny just because they've been in this situation so many times before in recent memory. They've been playing Game 5s over and over and over again. They're getting the team used to that sort of pressure. Dignipaz hasn't had to go to a Game 5 in a long time. We're going to have to see how they play that, but we are in game number 5 right now. And I think this first goal, as I said last series, first goal is going to be extremely crucial. Giving your team the momentum and getting that first goal on the line is going to be so important just to keep up the confidence for each of these teams, and winning each of these challenges is going to mean so much for these players. Now Hammer gonna get this straight down. It's gonna be Vezix as an overcommit on defense goes through once again for Dignipaz, and Black Bunny is going to take the lead.
That's a great double tap from Hammer. I mean, Hammer's doing Hammer things. Every double tap he hits seems to be great, but able to get around 2. I forget who was third man there, but I don't think he was going to get that second one, as Hammer did kind of like bang it off the backboard, but able to get it down straight for mid just for Vezix. As here comes another overcommit, but Infernal able to read that and get it out as more bumps come out on Sylvie. Nova needs to get it over Hammer, which is always a tough task to do, but Sylvie has all the boost all the time in the world, just Kiki to beat, but ran out of boost as more double commits coming out from Dignipaz. As I feel like they're a little bit jumpy, as here comes an almost overcommit from Black Bunny, almost able to punish when Kiki didn't have any boost, but redirect trying to come out of Vezix. Hammer has the ball in corner, passes it to Kiki. Good lockdown by Sylvie, as that's an amazing demo coming out of Sylvie, as Sylvie tries to steal it from Infernal. But 1-1, 350 remaining. I think this is going to be an amazing game.
Well, a lot of this one is going to be dependent on play styles. You see, Black Bunny is really good at fundamental Rocket League, just putting the goal in the back of the net, getting up for challenges, getting good 50s. Meanwhile, Dignipaz, a much more mechanical-heavy roster, which means they can pull off more, but at the same time, if those are getting saved, that's giving Black Bunny equal opportunity to put it in the back of your net. And when they're so good at just simple shots, as mechanical as they might look, they are really simple. At the end of the day, they're not like double flip resets, they're not like weird redirects, it's just a simple flip reset, a simple double tap, and it goes into the back of the net. And that is a very hard style to have to play against when you are merely a mechanical team. Now, Sylvie going to have to get up for this ball, waste a little bit of boost, so they're not going to have a lot for this push forward, and Hammer takes the time given to them and does a great job with it. Now Infernal having to have absolute courage on the back of that net, all the ice to save that ball away from Vezix. Nova, no touch on the ball, but does fake out the defense. 1-1 with about half the game remaining. We're definitely going to have to see which team gets the best opportunity here, as it's all going to probably come down to one goal at the end of the day.
Probably. It seems like it's gonna happen as more shots come out. Sylvie just missing
was a chance.
the redirect. It was a chance. It was a really hard chance though. But if anyone could do it, it would be Sylvie. As here's another pass come out mid, going to Hammer. Good bump off of Hammer, and it just seems like a lot of this game, Dignipause hasn't really had boost. I think, and here's an overcommit from Nova. As I said in the existence, no boost off the side. It seems like all of them have been working with at least half a tank this entire game, but it's still 2 minutes 10 seconds remaining, 1-2 game, and I feel like Dignipause does like playing from behind a little bit. You know, I feel like that kind of lights a little bit of fire in them, and the Dignipause is really good at not forcing shots, even when they're down behind. Is they don't really force too much, as that ball bouncing really awkwardly off that post was misread by both the defense and the offense, as another shot comes out, and Dignipause needs to find boost, as that was a really good chance, but no one on Black Bunny was there to put that one away. As more 50s, more shots, as it just seems like Dignipause is kind of holding on to dear life, as that clear is gonna get rid of all the pressure that they had. But it seems like a lot in this game they're leaving Nova behind, and as I was talking about Nova being their anchor, but there's not much Nova can do when you have Hammer and Kiki to put up against. But Nova is holding their own, as here's another 50 coming out, and a pinch coming out of Black Bunny, getting it off to the other side, as Sylvie either a tactical fake or a miss, as Hammer's cutting that off, and pressure back on to Dignipause, and Black Bunny's back on the siege.
That's a bit over Kiki, but no one able to move forward for it. Vezix has a chance for the dunk. Nova has to put that straight down, and it goes over to Sylvie, but there's no boost on the side of Dignipause. Sylvie does grab that middle, but it only goes as far as Hammer. Now Infernal up with the touch, but no one there to capitalize. Dignipause have to move forward if they want to win this game, and they're not getting the chances. Sylvie, forward now. It's going to be Hammer in the back line. He gets it off the crossbar, but that's still going to be awkward. They steal the corner boost from Black Bunny Gaming, but Hammer is able to clear it out with a big touch. Nova over to Infernal. Vezix there to cut it off. Hammer still playing that backline defense, and Kiki to clear it once more. It's just Nova in the backline. A huge whiff coming out from both teams. Infernal up in the air. Sylvie keeps it alive. It's going to be cleared to midfield, and Black Bunny probably just going to put this on the ground. It's so far away from any of the Dignipause members. Kiki gets a goal, and Black Bunny Gaming gets another win and makes top 4.
Another win in overtime. They just love making it fun for us, don't they? As you know, that's hard to watch if you're Dignipause. They really put their entire heart into it, and it just seems like the games that they lost just seems like nothing went their way, you know, and that's especially as a caster, it's hard to kind of watch that, where you know they're doing everything correctly, and just pinches and overcommits from the offense is just going in the back of your net. It's kind of hard to watch.
And Black Bunny Gaming now in the top 4 in the best of 7s tomorrow. And as for Dignipause, I believe they are going to be playing immediately against Lumimosity, as I believe they lost to Fox Clan in that first match. So that would mean Lumimosity versus Dignipause to end off the A stream. Meanwhile, Fox Clan versus Gentle Paws will be going ahead on the B stream. And yeah, you just gotta say, you know, Black Bunny showed up once again. We never expected anything less, and we're gonna have to see how Dignipause holds up in the lower bracket. I will say, we are getting a question from Infernal if we can forego the break before the next game. So we are going to try and get this one going as soon as possible. So what I am going to do is I am going to set us to a quick break where I set up, but we are going to be right back with this next game, okay? I'm going to take that as an okay. But yeah, we are going to go to a break, and when we are back, In like 5 minutes, we are going to have Lumosity and Dignipause playing for their lives in the bracket.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yep, be right back, guys.
I'm gonna go make myself some food real quick.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to RFDL. This is the playoffs, day 1. This is the A stream. We've got one more match for you guys today, and we are going to be getting it going as soon as possible, as one of our players does have to leave for work in like 40 minutes. So we are going to talk about this. Shy is AFK at the moment, so they will be back to join us for the cast, but we are going to be playing Dignipause versus Lumosity. And this one's going to be a very good one. Lumosity losing to Fox Clan in 3 games in the upper bracket. Dignipause losing against Black Bunny in 5. I I will get this lobby going, and we're gonna get straight into it. I definitely give Dignipause the advantage here, but I definitely think Lumimosity is a good team to try and take this upset.
I'm a big Arrow fan, so I think if anyone could do it, Arrow could do it. I love my computer boy.
Yeah, I'm definitely an Aeroax fan as well, and I will say though, they are not trying to hear the new announcer, so we will not be playing this match on the new DFH Stadium. That is their words, not mine.
What a slave!
Quick prediction from you. Not talking about anything. We're just gonna get straight into it. But what's the prediction?
Well, Game 5. And I love Sylvie and I love Dignipause, but I also love Arrow a little bit more. So I'm gonna. This is a complete biased opinion, not based off of stats like I normally do, but Game 5 to Luma. How about you, Finn?
And I'm definitely giving it to Dignipause here. Sylvia's hit SSL, Infernal, I believe it's hit GC3. I think that they had a really good showing against Black Bunny. It just was that Black Bunny had Hammer, and the Hammer factor is always strong, especially on these day ones. Unfortunately, I believe Lumimosity also having some tech issues of their own. I believe Avid is playing on a little bit of a scuff setup at a friend's house, and they're not able to use the back paddles of their controller, which is kind of pivotal to their gameplay, which means they are at a huge disadvantage. So I would not necessarily be unsurprised if this goes 3-0 Dignipause, but I definitely want to see Lumimosity put up a bit of a fight here, and we'll see if they can do so to start this one off. But we are in this lower bracket now, guys. We are playing for lives on the line here. Loser will be eliminated from the tournament, will not advance to Championship Sunday. And right now, Lumimosity getting a great goal to start us off for Aeroax.
But you know, one team, even with all the struggles and everything against them, who will still always be consistent and always will be good, would be Lumimosity, as both Avid and Aeroax are some of the most consistent people I think I've ever played against. Had pleasure to play against. You know, they're very consistent and they don't really go in slumps. It seems like. I think everyone in this long season at least has been in 1 or 2 slumps. I know me included, but I have not seen that out of either Arrow or Avid. As Levi is also an amazing C1. For his rank, honestly. Levi plays really great, but 1-0 to Lumimosity as they're also just peppering shots in the backboard. As here comes another one. Here's another one as no one's able to kind of put that away as all 3 of them took shots to the backboard. As here comes a pinch from Arrow. Arrow going up, Arrow putting a shot on, but there's 3 Dignipause players there, so not much you can get past there. Sylvie putting it mid, but no one's there, and Levi has an amazing clear. Faking out Nova as Arrow has full boost and the ball. Good lockdown by Infernal. But yeah, I don't know about you and you think about these teams, but I definitely, when I think of Lumimosity, I think of consistency for sure.
Oh yeah, Lumimosity and consistency go hand in hand. That Aeroax and Avid combo, just so good on the front, on the attacking third. And I always talk about how Levi is so good in that midfield, putting on the right sort of pressure, always doing well to defend the net as well. Not necessarily always getting the best touches or decision making, but they usually are where they need to be. Now, this is going to be a tough team to do it against for Levi, as there's a lot of attackers who can do stuff like Sylvie just did right there. Excellent fruit reset, close to the ground, but still uses it. Avid maybe expecting it to go a little bit lower to the ground, and Sylvie getting that pop right over. Excellent equalizer, but that is what Dignipause brings to the table. And when you're playing against a C1, it's very easy to use that to your advantage, as it's very hard for those sort of players to be able to read what you're exactly doing and get in the right position to defend that. That's why I expect to see a little bit more defensiveness from either Avid or Aeroax, and letting one of the other two play more of that midfielder to attacking range. We'll have to see as this progresses, but we are tied in game number 1 with 1:50 left. It's all to play for here, but this first win, I think, is going to be crucial for both of these teams.
Absolutely, and that's one thing that Lumamasi kind of has to do is kind of wait it out. Being so consistent, they can keep on peppering shots away and wait till at least someone overcommits or overdoes it, as Infernal almost does, and Aerolax almost was able to punish that as Nova's left in the net, triple commit, but Sylvie got a bump, clearing away all the pressure, but Levi is back. But like I said, Lumamosity needs to kind of sit down, like play their consistent game, but that's another thing is they are a little bit defensive heavy, and Sylvie kind of feeds off of people who don't pre-jump them, but they also feed off of people who do pre-jump them, so it's they're a whole new battle. Sylvie is, but Aerolax peppering away another shot as another just back and forth. It looks like I'm playing a game of ping pong right now, as here comes a redirect from Aerolax. What a great redirect, what a great save by Nova, as more shots are being peppered, as Nova did kind of hit that away from Sylvie. Probably not exactly what he wanted to do, but Sylvie up on backboard with full boost, trying to keep it away from Aerolax, but consistency's there. Aerolax isn't falling for anything, putting that in bottom left corner away from Nova, over Nova, and like I said, consistency is king. Consistency is key.
Yeah, no, it was really good from Aerolax to spot that opening rest there, just keeping the pressure on, and it does eventually find its way to the back of the net, and with only 32 seconds left, you have a chore in front of you if you are Dignipod, and that is going to be getting this equalizing goal. However, we've seen harder things been achieved before by these teams, Dignipod in particular. And I believe this is also a match that we got in Swiss, which I believe Dignipod took in a sweep. So this is also going to do a lot for Lumamosity's confidence, especially with that goal going in from Aerolax. That is going to be the winning goal, and Lumamosity is going to be taking this first game. I just want to make sure I'm correct in that, saying that
yeah, I was
Dignipod's won.
I thought Dignipod had a sub.
I know Dignipod won. Did they have a sub? It was 3-0, but I don't remember if they had a sub or not. But well, like either way, yeah. Lumamosity winning game number 1 in this best of 5. And that is going to be huge for their confidence. I am going to say that's just absolutely huge for them. They're going to be going forward with newfound confidence in this game number 2. Especially playing that well against the team that just swept them, and also getting that first win on the board for the day.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think I'm always going to say it. I'm going to say it probably 15 million times in this match, but the consistency between Lumamosity can be very frustrating, as they are very patient yet very aggressive, especially Avid and Aerolax. But I think it's going to be hard for Dignipod in this one, because going from Black Bunny to Lumamosity is two completely different game styles of the two teams. You got Black Bunny, who's kind of like, you get the team carry with Kiki on the side, but both very aggressive, very, out front teams. But Lumamosity is a little bit more quiet and sits back. But if you give them a opening, they're going to slot that ball top corner 9 times out of 10, especially if you leave someone back like Nova. But we're going to see that again in game 2, Sylvie versus Avid on the kickoff. Sylvie wins the kickoff as Levi is left back, but Aerolax is trying to get the bump off of Infernal, but Infernal gets it out to Nova. Nova couldn't finish it, as an unlucky bounce off the bar goes straight down, and Nova tried to read it but misread it, as here comes an overcommit from Sylvie and Infernal, but Sylvie got the boost, got the ball. Aerolax able to pinch that away. Sorry, go.
Oh, it sounds like Shy is dying a little bit, so I'll take over here. Sylvie with the shot, but it's going to be crossbar down. Levi can't get there in time, and Nova will get the first goal of this game. Excellent attack from Dignipod. going forward, and just a little bit too overcommitted from the defense of Lumimosity. It's going to leave that goal a little bit open. And that's the type of shot that you expect Sylvie to put in, that bouncing off the crossbar, a little bit unexpected, but it works out in their favor. Now, a bit of a fake coming out from Levi. It goes over to Avid. Avid over to Aerolax. Back to Avid. Avid with the shot, but Sylvie, excellent spot to just put that straight up and gets the save. Now, Aerolax with the push again. It seems like Lumimosity playing this a little bit attack heavy, which is exactly what you need to do against this Lumimosity, or this Dignipause team, my bad. Now, Sylvie trying to get the counterattack rolling.
I'm alive.
Shy is alive, although it sounds like barely. Levi going to be getting this 50, but Infernal just going to pinch that one away. Low boost on Lumimosity, and that could lead to a counterattack.
Absolutely, but one thing that they got going for them is they got two Dignipause players on their side, and Lumimosity has boost. As here comes another shot mid, as Levi trying to... I respect the confidence, Levi, but I do not know what was happening there. But Avid able to clear that out just to get as far as midfield, and Infernal trying to pinch that out. And one thing I've noticed is that Sylvie and Infernal almost are using the same cars. Do you think that's a tactic of some sort, of if people aren't looking at that nameplate to see who's actually going up for a ball?
I don't necessarily think that it's a tactic. I think it's just, you know, they're high-level players, and I hate to say this, but all high-level players use the exact same car. It does not matter who you are. You are playing stock Octane, you are playing stock Fennec. It does not matter. It's going to be the simplest decal that you can find, along with one of the meta car choices. So I don't think it's much of a tactic. I think it's just a car choice because it distracts less from the player's eyes as they're playing, or so they say. I like my car's flashy, so I don't understand the mentality. But you know,
am I the only GC2?
You are correct, though. I think it could be like, I think that if you overthink it, it could be a tactic to maybe throw off your opponents. You'll never know if it's Sylvie or Infernal going for the ball. That is tough because you never know if it's going to be like a cleaner touchdown from Infernal or it's going to be a mechanical play from Sylvie. But doesn't matter to Lumimosity because look at this pass down from Avid. Pancake onto the wall. Levi's in a perfect position and it's going to score that goal. Now it's tied game once again.
I was about to say, am I the only GC2 that runs, like, what is it, the titanium, right? Like shattered glass one that looks really cool, that animated. I don't know. I like that one. It looks cool. Not too distracting. I don't know. When I run like skins, I like having two different colors from my nose to my back of my car. And so it's easy for me to recognize when I'm spinning what's the front and what's the back when it's two different colors. But
I just like
that's about
being
me.
as rainbow as possible.
Because you're... Happy Pride Month.
Wow. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Happy Pride Month. Dignipause getting around both Lumimosity. Aerolax getting the boost. Sylvie trying to cut that off as it's dangerous in front of the net, but good clear. Sylvie is kind of overcommitting a little bit as around both of them. Aerolax, good catch off the ground. As Avid is trying to meet Nova in the top. I think he has a flip reset. Doesn't use it.
Oh, that's tough.
And a miss net by Sylvie. I need to go buy a lottery ticket.
It's more common than you would think, honestly. We've seen that from Dignipause a few times, where they're just a bit too fast to the ball, not expecting the challenge to go the way it does. And then at that point, you're so close to the ball that you really can't change your trajectory at all, and so it just bounces where it does. So you kind of just have to shake that one off, go next. Aerolax, though, really nice defense of Sylvie there, and I think when you're playing against Dignipause, especially for a team like Lumimosity, you can't just give them the ball, you can't just give them space, you have to be egotistical and challenge them really quick, or else you're going to get scored on. On Black Bunny, it's more of a sense of they knew when to challenge because they knew where the ball was going to drop. Here, it's like Sylvie can kind of do anything with it, so if you're not challenging immediately on it, then you then know it's going to be in the back of your net at some point. And Sylvie going to try and make that happen just now. Flip reset. Going to be over to Levi. And we might have an OT, but Levi going to try for the shot. Infernal to put it down. And once again, OT in game number 2.
But we also saw that where Aerolax was kind of waiting on net, knowing that Sylvie had a flip reset, but not able to really get it towards the net, and was able to have an open net at the other end. So it's just kind of like figuring out when to challenge, what to challenge, and who's behind you. Because when you're challenging someone who has a flip reset, and you know that, you're not really challenging for yourself. You're challenging for your players on behind you. If they get around you, and what a pinch coming out, but double save is probably what needed to happen right there to let that ball not go in the back of the net. But you challenge for the teammate, you challenge for your teammates, you don't really challenge for you. As here comes a redirect, Avid can't score this, getting it mid, but good block, good clear by Infernal, as 2 amazing clears to keep this overtime going.
That was almost disastrous for Dignipaz there. Just the touch going to the back of their own backboard. And Avid had the shot, but Infernal does get in the way just in time. We're seeing some pressure go up on the Dignipaz net. Infernal does have some boost, but it is going to have to leave that for Sylvie. Goes for the pinch instead. Aerolax can't get to it, so that's what Avid is there for. Long clear downfield, and it's up to Nova to get a touch. And that was a crucial touch that definitely would have been in the back of the net if it wasn't. Now another chance for Lumimosity as they keep looking deadlier and deadlier with every pass past the Dignipaz net. Another great pass, but double commit is going to leave Lumimosity scrambling back a little bit. They're going to have to get some boost and try again. Parallax now with boost off the corner, past Sylvie. Nova is last to beat, but does get the save. We're getting a lot of good defensive clips here in this OT.
Absolutely, and here comes Infernal trying to do something on his own, but Aerolax able to play backward, and here comes a Sylvie touch. A little double commit, but that's okay, as Avid was able to get it, wasn't able to get that mid boost as he passes down to Levi. A good little soft touch as Levi plays time and trying to give it back to Aerolax as they're really trying to do soft passing plays here. And I love watching passing plays. As Sylvie gets around 1, demo comes out, Levi doesn't have boost, and it's placed not where Levi's at, and that entire sequence was just amazing coming out of Dignipaz.
And Avid had the right idea there, going up to force Sylvie into the flick. It's a smart idea, but what they're not expecting is that Nova is going straight for the demo and Aerolax, and that's going to leave them all in such a rough position. Dignipaz takes game number 2. We're going to have to get going to game number 3 here pretty quickly as time keeps ticking down for Infernal. He's going to have to get going to work soon, and he does not want to have to give up a game 5 because of having to leave for work. So we're going to get this one going as soon as possible. But yeah, well, I don't think in the middle of the match, I don't think they're going to want to do that. So
no, stay on the
desk. We're just going to get going to game 3, but you're going to have to shake that off really quickly if you're Lumimosity. You're going to have to knock that out of your head real quick and just be like, okay, that wasn't our best game. Go next. And just see what can happen. You're not going to want to give Dignipaz the advantage here, and they might just do so. As I almost cast the curse. Aerolax did get the save, though, but a lot of aggression to start out from Dignipaz. Huge pop from Levi, though. And that is going to clear some of the pressure out, and Avid just can't get a touch towards net, as that was an opportunity.
I would like to say I am having power flashes currently, so if I DC, I apologize. We're going through a little bit of a storm, but as that shot comes out, amazing save. I actually don't know who saved that, but an amazing save with 4:20 coming on the time, no pun intended, as Avid and Aerolax both have boost, and Dignipaz all on the Lumimosity side with no boost, which could cause a problem as Levi barely gets it wide. I think Sylvie had the angle as Sylvie tries to get it up, tries to go for a double, misses, shot, and it's in, as that kind of looked like Aerolax had a touch there. I think he almost might have had it. Maybe we had some Rocket League servers, but another double commit, and it's coming out in Dignipaz's favor. As when that was all unraveling, I didn't see a goal coming out of Dignipos.
And just a quick update on how our B stream is doing. Currently, game 1 of Fox Clan versus Gentle Paws, I believe. A minute into overtime, 4 goals apiece. So we see both of those teams bringing on an offensive-heavy match on our hands. Once again, you'll be able to go and check that out at twitch.tv/AttackingToad. Quality, not necessarily the best there. I think they're running it in 720, so it's a little bit hard to see exactly what's going on, but you know, it's the B stream. This is what you're expecting. So,
You know, the good old saying, it's quantity, not quality. No, I'm sure.
exactly. But we will be all on the A stream for tomorrow, as we only have a few games to go through tomorrow. So it's going to be all A stream goodness, all of the NA production that you can hope for. But for now, focus back on this game as Dignipos is up by 1, looking to make it 2. Waterfall drop down from Sylvie. Can't get the touch, but Avid isn't going to have any boost. That touch from Nova is just so slow. But that's going to be another goal from Dignipos off of some really questionable defense.
That entire just stretch was just interesting. You had the bar down, no boost. You had the really soft touch from Nova, which I don't know how that came out soft. And then you had the pass from Levi, as a Levi taking his anger out probably of what he just did on the other side, as demoing off the kickoff, as it looks like Lumamasti is speeding up a little bit here, as Levi is trying to carry the team on his back, and I love seeing that out of Levi, as Infernal able to get a nice little touch on the backboard, as a shot rings out, double commit off the net. And you know, I was talking about a little bit in the Black Bunny game, it seems like Dignipos is getting a little bit of that luck in this one where they're double committing, but it's working. As an almost insane redirect came out of, I actually don't know who that was, but Aerolax able to have the ball, able to have possession, as Avid's going to try to score. A demo rings out as another double commit's happening, but it's in just an awkward spot for Levi, as he's going to try to get it mid, as another double commit on the net, on front post, as that goes up. Sylvie's there, and low boost on the Dignipos side, as just more onslaught of just more shots, and I think they need one to fall here shortly.
It would definitely be a hit to the mental if Lumamasti cannot get one of these balls in the back of the net, and this is where Dignipos does reign supreme in this matchup, I think. With Lumamasti, while they are a very consistent team, something that they really rely on is more of the passing plays more than the solo plays. And I think that's where Dignipos really gets to take advantage, because they can really just challenge and then expect Sylvie or Infernal to just do something crazy with the ball. Meanwhile, when you're sending someone forward for Lumamasti, you're kind of sending the entire team. So you have to make sure that that touch counts, or else you're going to find yourself in a really rough position. Now, Sylvie, with possession of the ball, gets it right over Avid, and that's going to be in the back of the net. 3-0 with a minute 2 remaining.
Sylvie's taking the Infernal need to go to work seriously and said, you know what, let's just end this in 4, as that's an amazing shot. 102 remaining, and I think, I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but I think this one might be, as what the cool kids say, cooked. I'm not cool. I wouldn't know.
But okay.
Oh, shocked, cooked. You know what? I'm not cool. I wouldn't know. Another pass coming out. Levi is in the back of the net, and I just think it's, for this one, when you're down 3-0 and 3s with 40 seconds remaining, it's kind of just saving your mental, I feel like. Knowing that there is one more game, but also knowing that there can be only one more game for your season, as this is for everyone's lives. But, you know, I know you probably wouldn't mind, because you would get Aerolax back on the desk as we get Toaster Man back. But
that's not necessarily true. His mental might be shocked if they lose this, and he might not want to come back on the desk. What do you mean?
I don't see him. Aero doesn't get mad though. Not that much.
I will say it wouldn't be the first time, but that's all I'm going to say about it, as we are going to hit 0 seconds, and Dignipos is going to get a shutout in game number 3, now going to match point. And Lumamasti, as much as Dignipos would hate it, they need to force a game 5 if they want to get to the chance of making it to day 2. And
I think
it's huge for... I think it would be huge if we got all Game 5s today.
Yeah, but you know, talking about Infernal and his work time, you know, that, you know, maybe they want to take this game a little bit slower, you know, and then maybe force a Game 5 so Infernal can't do another one, you know. You gotta have to kind of think of your opponents, and would it be cheap? I don't know, but you gotta work with what you got, and if that's what you got, you gotta work with it.
I've seen people win from cheaper methods in RFDL. Maybe not necessarily this season, but there's one game in particular where I can remember somebody winning off of a pretty cheap method. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the hopes of these two teams, Lumosity and Dignipause. Dignipause trying to make it to Championship Sunday. Lumosity now fighting for their lives in this bracket. They're going to have to try and play their best Rocket League. Sylvie not in a good position, and Avid gonna try for the dunk, but Sylvie does play that one correctly. Infernal with the flip reset. Nova can't make it to it in time. It's gonna be up to Sylvie as the backline defense. That could be a shot on target, but Aerolax puts it near post, and Sylvie guards it expertly.
You know, another thing interesting is with that time restraint off of Infernal, do you think he might try to force a lot of offense just to try to get this game done? Do you think that could kind of maybe ruin a little bit of Dignipause's, you know, mentality, but what they're used to doing, because Infernal's now trying to force win this final win. But we'll have to find out.
Here's the meta game for that. He did say about 35 minutes ago that in 45 minutes he needs to leave for work. So if they go for a Game 5, he is probably going to be a little bit late on leaving for that, but he is probably... I know for a fact he'll play through it, but it might be that he sees the time and he might start rushing some touches, and that could lead to a Lumosity victory. At the same time, though, Infernal is a very smart player. He might see that the time is ticking down and instead just let Sylvie do their thing, play defense as well as possible, and just assume that Sylvie is going to get a goal in sooner or later. And that's not necessarily a bad strategy if you are Dignipause. You just have to make sure that that backline is super solid and you can just chill out on defense while you let your freestyler do all the work. As it seems like they're trying to do here. Infernal gonna be in a bit of an awkward situation. They'll pass over to Avid. Avid with a shot.
What a shot!
Corner. Lumosity take the lead.
What a shot coming out of Avid, as Aerolax really placed that above where no one was, and Avid just finding the one section right in between the goalposts of the defender. You know, but this ain't football. This is soccer. I mean, a different kind of football. But Lumosity's won up with 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining. But like, that's another thing, is if you're Lumosity, right, and Dignipause does somehow get an equalizer, is would you want to try to play it slow and get it to OT and really drag out an OT and try to win just to make Infernal be later? But
yeah,
maybe we're overthinking it a little bit too much.
I don't think the players are thinking about that at all. I don't think that that's something in their mind. And obviously, knowing these guys, knowing Aerolax, Levi, Avid, they aren't that sort of person to try and drag this out to make Infernal late. Nobody wants someone to be late for work. I mean, we're all kind-hearted here. At least, you know, most of the people in the RFDL community would be, I say. So I definitely think that they're just trying to play to win, see what happens, and Infernal, if he ends up being a couple of minutes late, hopefully for his sake it ends with a Dignipause win. If it doesn't, you know, I mean, them's the breaks. I mean, that's kind of just what you're playing for here in RFDL. We're just playing for Discord titles, guys. It's not that serious. But
here comes another bump almost out of Avid. Yeah, you know, Discord titles, a lot of people want those Discord titles a little bit too much, I think. But as another bump comes out of Levi, amazing bump, as they had an open net, but no one was ready for that. And Sylvie taking it back to his own side, and Sylvie trying to do something with it, as it only goes as far as Aerolax, as Infernal is doing that one flip reset, and Levi, amazing defense, able to read that as another bump comes out. Actually, a double bump that gives Avid the room, but Infernal spawned the exact side you need to. Is Levi, no boost, able to get back. That was a little scary off of the Lumosity, as it's still 50 seconds clocking down as we have a 0-1 lead. Lumosity doesn't have boost, and everyone in Dignipause does have full boost, but that's exactly not what you want if you're a Dignipause fan, is have both your people with full boost double committing as more demos come out. And it seems like they are kind of forcing it a little bit as they're trying to get one more done. They're really trying to get this done, but Aerolax is just kind of staying patient, letting them give them the ball and just kind of clearing it out, playing boomer ball a little bit. As Infernal does cut that off, Levi able to meet him, as that's an unlucky touch to the corner as 10 seconds come down on the clock. Sylvie in the corner with full boost, not what you want, but Avid able to lock that down almost instantly, as here comes Infernal mistouch. Sylvie off the backboard. No one's on backboard. This is risky, and it's one shot by Sylvie as both Lumosity defenders no boost. Both try to do squishy saves. Sylvie able to touch that around both of them as they were both just a little bit too quick, and now it's OT.
And this is what I was saying about giving them the chance. Unfortunately for Lumosity, no boost on the defenders. And now they're going to really be in the fight for their lives here. As another goal against them means they're knocked out of the tournament. If you're a Lumosity fan, you do not want to see it end like that. And Sylvie just trying to do Sylvie things here. Meanwhile, Parallax having to play this around. Sylvie in for the dunk. It could be in the net, but no, Levi saves it out, and that might be a goal the other way. Infernal does have that off to the side, but now a pass over to Avid. Avid doesn't take the shot. He plays it back, expecting the challenge to come really fast. Infernal with the shot. It's gonna be off from Aerolax, but Sylvie still in the wings, trying to get that shot. Aerolax has to play the second touch there, and Sylvie can clear it off to the side, but we're seeing a ton of pressure from both of these teams as Avid tries to put something on net themselves.
Absolutely, it's a defense masterclass. It seems like two brick walls trying to go at it. As a good pinch under Infernal, as Levi trying to take a shot. Sylvie's there as both teams have full boost, and what a shot by Aerolax. What a read, as no one was back for that. And that was just an amazing shot. A good clear actually from Sylvie, exactly where you want that ball, maybe a little bit on the corner, but Arrow able to get that slightest touch to get center of the net. 1-2 in OT, and we'll see how we have to play this into game 5.
And I gotta say, that has gotta be one of the worst things that could happen for Infernal in that situation, going an extra minute into OT with Lumosity winning that, but you would have hated to see Lumosity get knocked out in that way going into the final match. But we are gonna get straight into game number 5, as we've said. Oh, people are leaving. People are joining. Are we good? Are we good? We're good. Okay. Infernal has to get going soon, guys. We gotta start this game. We're gonna get straight into it. Avid says, I love Epic Games. He must be lying there. But pivotal game 5 for both of these teams.
Epic Games is listening. We can't talk bad about them. They're always watching.
Of course. Always watching, always listening. But this, as I said, pivotal game 5 for both of these teams. The first goal gonna mean so much for whoever's able to score it. Levi not able to get this off the corner, but Aerolax, huge pinch. If Infernal wasn't in the way, that was in the back of the net for sure. We gotta say, another game 5. All we've had is game 5s today on the A stream, and you love to see it, but it's so nerve-wracking for all of these teams. Now this one game going to decide their fate in the tournament, and both of these teams, I would say, definitely favorites to win the whole thing. So to find them here in the lower bracket, again, in a game 5, this is not where either team was expecting to be at the end of the day.
Absolutely not. I mean, we definitely had some teams fall out early than we expected. I know Black Bunny's been on the just the cusp of almost losing, but still playing. As I can say for my own team, X3 also being the front runner of the league, pretty much the entire league, also being out, not even making the playoffs. It kind of just tells you about, it doesn't really matter about who you're playing up against. One loss can really mean your entire series, but it also kind of tells you how even these teams kind of are. As 33 minutes 30 seconds left on the time, as Infernal does get that ball, but Airlock's able to get it mid a little bit up high, as it seems like Lumosity currently in the 2 minutes that we have been playing seems to have been really controlling the game so far. And I think it's like Dignipaz is trying to force a lot, and Lumosity is just kind of just keep on playing their game. They're not letting the forcing change how they're playing, and they're just playing Lumosity ways, and it's working. As that was a little bit scary of patience from Lumosity, as I'm giving them praise, as a good touch around Infernal, Levi going on the wall, as no one really has boost besides Sylvie and Dignipaz, as they kind of have to let this ball just go mid, and as 2 minutes and 30 seconds are running down on the clock. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if I see an 0-0 game overtime.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but we do see that Dignipaz had some good chances, but Lumosity about to have the same. Unfortunately, Avid demoed by Sylvie there, stopping the attack in its tracks. Levi, an excellent touch away from Sylvie there. But Dignipaz still able to push. Avid, though, you can see both these teams playing defense so passively, just letting the ball come to them, making sure that they're in the right position for any sort of shot to come forward. Definitely could be a 0-0 overtime. And I know Dignipaz doesn't want that. They're going to try and force this issue. Avid doing well to keep that safe. Infernal keeping it in the air. Levi and Aerolax going for it, but Aerolax with a big clear downfield means that Dignipaz cannot pounce on that one. Now Avid gets a touch. It goes past Sylvie, who's going to look for bumps in the back line. Avid in an advantageous position, but Nova gets the perfect touch. Oh, good touch from Aerolax, though. Levi with the shot. Infernal knocks it away. Passed over to Aerolax, but he wasn't expecting it. He's going to have to go up the sidewall. A minute 23 left, still tied. It looks like this goal is going to be the golden goal to take your guys to Championship Sunday. As Levi tries to pass it again, Avid and Aerolax deciding who's going to push for it. It's going to be Aerolax with no boost. Infernal now has boost and ball possession. Sylvie and Infernal get the shot. It's going to be Dignipaz going up by 1 with a minute 3 remaining.
And that must be a massive relief for Dignipaz, finally getting a goal after just peppering the backboard. And that's kind of hard when you're the defender there, when you have two Sylvie and Infernal and you don't know which one's going to touch, as they both had two entirely different angles, and you just kind of have to guess and choose, and you guessed wrong. But 1 minute remaining, as already you can tell that Dignipaz has completely slowed down just from going one up. And so that might be something, but it also might be bad, as great save from Aerolax, as Avid able to get it back. Dignipaz has no boost besides Infernal, as they're just playing so patiently, and we'll see if Arrow and his team can, like, just, I don't know, I'm lost for words at this point. They have to take advantage of it somehow.
They have to play the fact that they're not challenging any of the balls that are coming forward. Now Aerolax having to get the 50. They need a good 50 on Infernal. They do get it, but no one on the Lumosity side can go. Nova has all the boost, but Aerolax gets the straight down, but no one is going to be there. 10 seconds left. Sylvie going to clear it long. Nova going for the shot, and Avid going to have to take this the whole length of the field. It's going to hit the ground. Dignipaz move on in Game 5, and Lumosity is going to be your first team out of playoffs.
What a game, what a game, what a game. That was, I was on my edge of my seats. My cheeks were clenched the entire Game 5. And, you know, that's just, both teams came to play, and one team just made a little bit less mistakes than the other one. But that's no shame to Lumosity, as they played amazingly. And it's just, it's hard to see them go out as they push so far and so hard. And just a couple things didn't go their way, and sometimes that's all it needs.
Yeah, that's tough for Lumosity. I feel bad for all of them. They played their hearts out, but unfortunately that Game 5 just didn't go their way, and that's how Rocket League goes sometimes. But you know, all you can do is pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and get ready for Season 2. But for now, guys, that is going to be all the matches on the A stream. We are going to be doing a raid over to the B stream as they are in, I believe, game number 4 of the upper semifinals. Fox Clan up by 2 against Gentle Paws. Series score is 2-1. The game score is 0-0. So we're going to hop off of here for now. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Come back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST so we can start day number 2 of our final day. We are going to crown a champion tomorrow for Season 1 of RFDL. It is going to be a great day. I'm so excited to have it for you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See ya.